Well, a reminder to you that all rights to this broadcast are reserved. Any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written permission of the Green Bay Packers Incorporated is prohibited. We're still waiting for the toss of the coin, and we start our regular season, and it's time now for the Bud Packers payoff. Our first quarter contestant is Carl Lewitt from Germantown, Wisconsin. Carl Lewitt, you've already won a 48-quart Budweiser cooler. And if the Packers score from at least 62 yards away in a single play, you must call 414-799-1620 within 6 minutes and 20 seconds in order to win $620. We have a delay here for some reason or other, and you know what? I bet it is because so many of the early games are running a little long, and they don't want to get started here too quickly because they want as many people as possible to be on hand when the commercials come around for them to play in this particular game. We didn't go to the tailgate party today. We missed that. About 4,300 from the state of Wisconsin down here today.
There are a lot of Packer people out here. All the people without rain gear, I think. They're unprepared, but they're happy. You could hear the Packer fans throughout the warm-up.
Actually, remember last year here, the Packers didn't play well. They did everything they could do to try to win the ball game and actually got into a position to win it on the last play of the regular portion of the game. They missed the field goal, and then Tampa Bay won that in overtime, 13-10.
That's true, Jim. The Packers at that time were having a few problems, but I'll tell you, the first game of the year, I look for the Pack to come out strong.
I think they will do that, too, and it appears that the rain has now left. What will happen is it will become very humid. The two sides are bringing out their captains. One of the captains for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has a little girl along with him, and he is coming out to the center of the field.
Special teams captain, Kenneth Gant.
Kenneth Gant. I don't know whether that's his daughter or what it might be, but she's come out with him, and she is going to be an honorary captain for this as well. And the Packers bring out a number of people: Santana Dotson, Craig Hentrick, and Frank Winters. This would be a big day for Santana Dotson, I would think.
Yeah, everybody wants a big game in that regard.
All right, we're about ready to toss the coin. Let's see if we can listen in. It appears that Tampa Bay has won the call of the coin and will receive the kickoff to open this game against the Green Bay Packers. And we should have a good ball game. This is the first time the Packers have opened on the road in a long, long time. Next week, it'll be a Monday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles, so they'll have a little extra time once this game is over. This half of Green Bay Packer football brought to you by your local Jeep and Eagle, Chrysler, and Plymouth dealers and the new Dodge. Trent Dilfer starts at quarterback today, 6'4", 235, his third year out of Fresno State. Last year, Larry, 224 completions out of 415 throws. That's 54%, 2,700 yards. The real ratio was 4 touchdowns and 18 interceptions.
Obviously, if the Buccaneers are going to be worth it down this year, he's got to be a whole heck of a lot better.
What they want him to do is not to make any mistakes. They've got a pretty good defense. They would like to play as error-free as they can. Then they would have chances to win ball games.
New offense in there, less decision-making for Dilfer. 3 5-step drops. He goes to a position, and so less thinking for him. They're hoping that works.
They send a couple of men back deep for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have 3 rookies or 3 players who haven't played very much on offense who will play wide receiver, but this is Nilo Sylvan. He is a threat, and they think that he can do great things for them this year. He ran back a punt last week, 91 yards. He's a rookie out of Tennessee, and what he really is a track man.
Yes, he is, but they think he's becoming a football player. And the week before that 91-yarder, he returned 170-some yards, but it was called back for a penalty. He's something special back there.
Listen, you were a track man, a baseball player, football. You played everything, didn't you?
Well, we had to at White Oak, Jim. There's only 15 or 20 of us there.
It wasn't Division I. Right?
How'd you handle proms and stuff?
Well, we switched off.
We hope you enjoy the season. The 1996 season of the Green Bay Packers. Still a lot of fans yet to come in this stadium.
I don't know if they're coming.
Because, you know what, and Max, it may have hit it on the head. You said some of them, with all that hard rain that was coming down, may have turned around and gone back home.
Yeah, and a few under the grandstands. They don't know it quit raining. They'll be up here, surely.
Well, the officials are just waiting a few more minutes. The game normally is scheduled to kick off at 3 o'clock Wisconsin time, but they're holding up just a little bit. And Craig Hentrick, who won the kickoff duties for the Packers during the preseason, will do that for Green Bay here. And again, Nilo Sylvan, who has changed his number from 17 to 87, will do the kick returning. He is the deep man. Here's Hentrick. Hope you enjoy the game. From my right to my left, the kickoff is a high floater that's not going too deep. Taken at the 7-yard line by Sylvan. Back up the middle to the 10 to the 15 to the outside. Found a little hole, brought down at the 20-yard line. Nice open field tackle. And an excellent play by Jeff Thomason. And we talked about him with Andy Reid in the pregame. Jeff Thomason earned his spot on this team.
You betcha. And now you see special teams getting an upgrade because guys who were normally playing regular downs from scrimmage during the preseason, now they become special teams guys like Thomason.
Here comes Trent Dilfer. He will have a cadre of running backs. Jerry Ellison gets the start. Leroy Thompson will follow him up. Jerry Ellison rushed for 218 yards last season. They'll go out of an I formation. Mike Alstad, who is the rookie from Purdue, is the blocking back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Courtney Hawkins goes in motion to the outside. And here's Dilfer on a draw up the middle. Gets a couple of yards, no more than that. And Ellison is brought down at about the 22-yard line.
Bucks opening up with a lead play. George Kuntz did a nice job of taking on Alstad and stuffing that play.
So it is going to be a second down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. By the way, Jerry Ellison, 5'10", 198 from the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Alstad, 6 foot even, 240-pound rookie from Purdue, the record breaker at Purdue. Second down, 8 yards to go. We've just started from Tampa, Florida. The sun trying to come out a little bit after a very hard rain for about 25 minutes or so. Alstad, the lead blocker, up on the left side on a second down. Wide receiver in motion to the right is Courtney Hawkins. Here's the second down plan. Dilford on the right, and the handoff back against the grain. Ellison broke one tackle, but is brought down at the 26-yard line. A gain of about 4 yards on the play, and that's Brian Williams on the right side linebacking core for the Packers who made the tackle.
I tell you, they had some defensive mix-up there, Jim, especially in the defensive backfield. The Packers had one guy following the motion man, and he was not supposed to have been. That could have been a problem if it had been a pass.
This is the dime package, right, coming in now?
Yes, it is. One linebacker, 6 defensive backs. Tyrone Williams making his professional debut.
And Mike Pryor is the other defensive back for the Packers on third down and about 4 for Tampa Bay. Receivers left and right. Harper is the big-time receiver for Tampa Bay. He's to the left side. Here is Dilfer's first pass of the season. Dilfer dumps it off over the top to the 30, first down, and ridden down on the play at about the 33-yard line is Courtney Hawkins with Craig Newsom a hold of him, but it is a first down and a gain of about 5 or 6 yards on the play.
Well, that's a good start by Dilfer. One of the offensive tackles, I believe, is Doug Reisenberg, may have came up lame on that play for Tampa Bay, but no, he got up.
Well, they got a little shortage in their offensive line now with Ian Beckles out of the lineup.
Scott Adams starting for him today. Beckles out with a quad injury.
Hawkins left, and to the right comes Alvin Harper. The tight end is Jackie Harris. Harris caught 62 passes last year. A first down at the 32-yard line for Trent Dilfer. Harris goes in. No, that make that Dave Moore who goes in motion. Again, the handoff goes up the middle to Alstad. His first carry as a professional for a gain of about a yard, hitting off the left tackle position.
Packers doing a nice job of pursuing down the line of scrimmage. That time the Buccaneers tried to run a little power play with Scott Adams pulling. George Kuntz once again making life difficult.
Today's game brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm and Milwaukee Tools, the professional tool choice. Mills Fleet Farm has the Milwaukee tools you need to get the job done right. Gain of 2, second down, 8 yards to go.
I like this new linebacker lineup the Packers
I
have.
do too. It's quick. It's very quick.
Active.
And Kuntz plays well in the middle. I formation. Man in motion to the near side is Harris. He reverses and goes to the outside. Here is Dilfer, and the handoff goes up the middle again, and Ellison is hit hard and dragged backwards on the play.
Wayne Simmons, I believe.
He was hit right at the line of scrimmage, and he didn't go 1 inch further forward. He came straight back. It'll be third down at about 8 yards for Tampa Bay. They'll bring some changes into the lineup. Leroy Thompson comes in the backfield. Thompson out of Penn State in his 6th year, 5'11", 217 pounds.
Oddly enough, in the preseason, the Packers were great on first and second downs. It was third down, long yardage, where they had their problems. They're trying to fine-tune this dime package to make it more effective.
3 wide receivers and Jackie Harris. Carl Williams is the third wide receiver who has come in wide to the left, and the single running back is Leroy Thompson. Third down and about 10 yards to go for Tampa Bay from the 33. Dilfer, short drop, quick pattern to the outside, and it is intercepted. Picked off on a deflection. Down the left sidelines and out of bounds for the Green Bay Packers, and that appears to be Mike Pryor, and it is. It was intended for Alvin Harper. He got hit as the ball arrived. It bounced up in the air and was picked off by Mike Pryor, the first interception of the season.
The old tip drill paid off again, Jim. Mike Pryor very alert to get that interception.
Well, there's another pick and save Packers pickoff play, and that means another $100 contribution to the MAC Fund from Pick and Save.
What a great start defensively. That was such a bad part of the Packers game last year. Turnovers in the first series of the first game, they get one.
Not a great start for Trent Dilfer, however. First down for the Packers.
Cares?
I know, and that's just what we were talking about. He made the first down play on the first series. Here's a man in motion to the right. That's Chimera. He reverses and comes back. One back offense. Short drop by Brett Favre. Turns, fires it up the field. It's caught at the 34-yard line and a gain of about 5 yards on the play. And that is Antonio Freeman. If we hesitate for a moment, it's because we're at the very top of this stadium, and it's hard to distinguish numbers from this distance.
This has to be the highest stadium in the United States, I might add.
Well, this is the highest crew in the United States as well, so that makes it all even. Robert Brooks to the right. Antonio Freeman, his first catch of the season. I formation, second down at about 6 yards to go from the 33-yard line. Brett Favre out of that eye, takes a long count, looks, and a play-action fake. Looks, got a man wide open on the left side. That's Freeman at the 25, first down. Antonio Freeman faked downfield, Larry, and just stopped. And when he stopped, the defenders didn't. He gets the first down.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, so far, excellent protection. We got Gary Brown starting at left tackle. So far, so good. He's done a fine job out there.
Target is a proud sponsor of the Packers Radio Network. Be sure to drop off your film at Target's Photo Center for Kodak Premium Processing. Back the next day or they're free. 7 days a week. Target. Expect more, pay less. First down at the 25-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now they bring William Henderson up equal to Edgar Bennett in the backfield. Chimera in motion. Here's the first handoff. This goes to Henderson. Henderson drives forward for about 3 yards down to the 22-yard line. Defensively, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Eric Curry, the left end, Brad Culpepper, the nose tackle, Warren Sapp is the other tackle, and Reagan Upshaw, rookie out of California, their #1 draft choice, and they like him a whole lot. He's a good big kid.
Big speed rusher, like 4.6 speed in the 40, weighs about 260 now.
Second down, 7. Brett Favre so far in this ball game is 2 out of 2 for 12 yards. Second down play. Edgar Bennett now splits up to the right side. Chimera goes in motion to the right side for the Packers. Here's a play action fake. Handoff goes to Chimera at the 20. Chimera down close to a first down at about the 16-yard line. Great improvisation again by Brett Favre. He turned to the right. The minute he did that, Max, 2 defenders were right on top of it.
Yeah, that was a bootleg. That's why that guy was right there. But he is so quick with that release, Jim, that he just released it right in the face and perfect pass.
Like Max said, because it's a bootleg, they leave that defensive end, Eric Curry, unblocked, and they want him to come in on the quarterback, and they just dump it over him for a nice little gain like they got.
He knew right exactly where Chimera was. Third down and about a half a yard to go for the Packers. Henderson, the blocking back on the third down play for Green Bay. Favre, the quarterback, one wide receiver for Green Bay. Here's Brett Favre, and the handoff goes up the middle, and a little slide close to a first down. It did not appear, and that might have been Dorsey Levens, I think, who came in for the Packers. It did not appear at first that he had the first down, but then he slid inside, and they'll have to bring the sticks out to measure to see whether or not that is a first down. This game's action brought to you by your Polaris snowmobile, ATV, and personal watercraft dealers. For outdoor fun before and after the snow, see your Polaris dealer.
Jim Palm has informed me it's a 1st and 10. Why measure, friends?
Yes.
I agree with Mr. Palm, the expert.
And the officials put the sticks down, and they say, first down.
Jim is 1 for 1.
Were you going to keep track of
the whole season?
Okay.
I tell you, though, the Packers still have that problem on third and trying to get a yard. That's been a tough deal for the last couple of years. Let's hopefully Dorsey Levens will take care of that.
It's that run to darkness running game that they become famous for.
First down at the 15-yard line. Brooks to the right, Freeman to the left for the Packers, and a slot on the right side. By the way, Keith Jackson was in on that last play. Here is Brett Favre. Great protection. Steps up, fires to the sidelines. Whoa. In between 2 receivers, almost as if he was indecisive. Down at the 5-yard line, he had Chimera, and at about the 8-yard line, he had Edgar Bennett. He threw in between the 2 of them.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted them that close together either, Jim. That could have been an interception, and nearly was, but still, with that arm, he threw it right through him.
Yeah, he did.
In the red zone is one place where the Buccaneers play really stout defense. Last year, they're 3rd in the league about giving up touchdowns once the team gets inside the 20.
Hardy Nickerson is the middle linebacker. Lonnie Martz to the left. Derek Brooks to the right. Mayhew and Demery the corners, and Scott and Johnson are the safeties. Here is a second down and 10 from the 15-yard line for Brett Favre. Favre with a long count, and the delay up the middle to Levens. He was tripped up in the backfield by Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp reached in and got a hand. It looked like Levens had a little hole, but Sapp threw the whole play off.
Boy, he did, Jim. I thought the Packers were going to throw the ball on that down. They opted for a draw and didn't get anything.
Packers ran a little trap play with Aaron Taylor doing the trap blocking. He got his block, but Earl Dotson and Adam Timmerman failed to negotiate the inside people in that.
Well, Dean Foods has been providing Packer fans with quality dairy and ice cream products for over 70 years. Dean's Milk and Ice Cream. You can taste how much we care. Big play, 3rd down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Single running back, but he's really up at a wing position. Here's Brett Favre, a quick pattern over to the left side for a screen. 5 yards, almost a first down to about the 6-yard shy. It was a quick screen, and they did the right thing. I'm trying to look and see who the ball carrier is for the Packers as he gets up. That's a Robert Brooks, and he took as much as he could get as quick as he could get it.
That's right. It was a quick screen, and Dorsey Levens did a nice job out there getting the first block to get him started.
So they're going to have to settle for the field goal because they got a full yard shy, and you just don't want to pass up any opportunity for points.
No, I don't think the first game of the year you want to set any precedent here, especially with our short yardage offense.
So it is going to be a try for a field goal of 24 yards by Chris Jackie. Craig Hentrick is the holder on this 4th down and a yard. The ball is down and handled perfectly, and the shot is up and good, and the Packers take a 3-0 lead and a break in the ball game. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
The Dodge Ram comes with the most powerful overall line of pickup engines on the planet. That's the hard sell. Here's the soft. Every Ram pickup that rolls off the assembly line comes equipped with the...
Craig Hentrick. Here is the high floater. It is going to go all the way to the end zone, about 3 yards deep, 4 yards deep. He's going to come out of there to the 10-yard line to the left side and being chased down at the 10 and out of bounds at the 11. Clearly, Sylvan should not have done that, and that was the one big concern they had about him. He hasn't done enough football to make good decisions.
And I'll tell you what, the Packers, that Corey Dowden, they picked up from the Saints just last week or the week before. He is something special. That kid can run.
All right, a timeout on the field. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network. Here in Tampa, Florida, and it's made it even worse, hasn't it?
I'll tell you, Jim, you can see the water coming back up. It just goes up and down here. It's about 100% humidity without a doubt.
You pointed out that wearing the dark shirts doesn't help at all today.
No, that's the disadvantage of a visiting team in these hot markets.
It's got to be Africa hot down on the playing surface right now.
It's at the 12-yard line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll go with a single back this time. Also will be the single back, wide receivers left and right, and 2 tight ends in Moore and Jackie Harris. And here's the handoff to Allstott. He's hit at the 10-yard line by... That's Santana Dotson who made the initial hit, and he's upset with himself because Allstott got back to about a yard gain. He actually had him for a 2-yard loss, and Allstott just slipped off his fingertips.
He'd like to finish the play, but Santana Dotson just ate up left guard Jim Pine that time, just stuffed him a couple yards in the backfield.
By the way, the left tackle is Paul Gruber. Gruber said he understood about Eric Rhett in his holdout, but he said sometimes you're better off to get into camp because you want to play. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Courtney Hawkins right. Alvin Harper, the big play man for them, splits off to the left side. He had a decent year last year, but didn't catch the touchdown passes he expected. Here is Trent Dilfer on a 2nd down. Comes quickly over the top. It is caught by the tight end Jackie Harris, close to a first down, and he may have it at about the 24-yard line. The tackle made by Leroy Butler. For Jackie Harris, his first catch of the year. He caught 62 of them last season.
Packers blitz Brian Williams on the play. Obviously, that takes out one man from the underneath coverage, and the Bucs taking advantage.
5 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter of the game. We have a 3-0 lead for the Green Bay Packers. And they'll bring this time Harper to the right side and put a slot man on the right side for Tampa Bay. They go back to 2 running backs. And Olstad is the lead blocker with Jerry Ellison in as the deep back on this first down play. And here's Dilfer, and he fakes it, hands it up the middle. Bam. Down goes somebody. Is the ball loose? It appears the ball is loose, but I don't know who's got it. Packers say it belongs to them, but so far the officials haven't said anything. Ellison hit the line, and I mean, he got hard. The Packers still say it's theirs, and it is. Wow. At the 26-yard line, the Packers will take over with a first down. And that is the second turnover by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The officials haven't signaled yet whether we're going to take
Reggie White on the recovery.
Or not. So Reggie makes his presence felt, and the officials are looking to the sidelines. No timeout taken here, I believe. It'll be a first down at the 27-yard line officially for Green Bay. Now you want a quick strike. You can't afford to give up the touchdown here. You've had 2 chances. You'll take a field goal and a touchdown, but they're a man short in the huddle. And the Packers, no, they got a man out there quickly.
Jim, they'll go for it right here, I think, right to the end zone.
First down. Who was that came out late? Desmond Howard came out late. He was not ready. They're going with 5 receivers, and apparently he didn't know that. First down from the 27-yard line. Here's the quarterback, Brett Favre. Favre on a delay, gives it up the middle. There's running room and across to the 20.
Hey, in the air, caught by the Packers, down to the 5 and down to the 1-yard line. I think that's Antonio Freeman. The ball popped loose on a great draw play, and Freeman caught it and advanced it down to the 1-yard line.
Wow, what a play by Freeman, Jim. It was, you could almost call it a forward lateral, but it was actually a fumble, so therefore it will count.
Who was the ball carrier, Larry? It was a
Dorsey
single running back.
They were in their
Levens.
eagle formation, 4 wide receivers. They ran a nice full block. Frankie Winters blocking back on the defensive tackle. Aaron Taylor pulling around. Both of them did fine jobs.
First and goal at the 1-yard line for the Packers. Maybe this is going to be your day when you have a play like that. Freeman now doesn't even get a reception out of it.
2 series, 2 turnovers. This is our day so far.
All right, it is first and goal at the 1. Brooks lines up wide right. And in motion goes Levens. Here is Brett Favre, a touchdown pass easily. Keith Jackson. A fake into the middle. Jackson wide open into the end zone. A little lofting pass in the first one of the year by Brett Favre, and the Packers score.
Easily the most favorite scoring play in short yardage is that very play, Jim. They used it many times last year.
Max, what is the deal? Why do defenses lose track of the tight end? All he's got to do is do a slow block, and he's wide open 75% of the time.
Unbelievable. They all go for the run fake, but it works every time, at least every time.
It worked well there. So the Packers...
We're 1 for 1. He's telling Jim Palm.
27 yards in 2 plays, and the try for the extra point for Chris Jackie. The ball down, the kick is on the way, and the kick is good, almost blocked. And it becomes a 10-0 ball game. We'll take a break and be back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Let Mills Fleet Farm help you dress your home.
Whether Craig Hendrick's leg can last in the heat like this. His third kickoff of the quarter by Craig Hendrick. This is a high floater that Sylvan is going to take at the goal line. He comes out of there. He was actually a yard deep. Back to the 10, reverses. Oh, there's a hole to the 20 to the outside. He's got a lot of room. Stutter steps, and Thomason pushes him out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. He made a lot of great moves that time to get the ball up the field, and he advances it to the 37-yard line. It is a 10-0 ball game in favor of the Green Bay Packers. Today's game brought to you by Aaron's Outdoor Power Equipment and your local Aaron's dealer. Aaron's, the best from start to finish. Ball resting at the 36-yard line officially for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have 3 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Packers haven't had to start a drive outside the 40-yard line.
And that's great defense.
That's great defense for sure. Allstott the up back, and Jerry Ellison the tailback. Man in motion to the outside. Jackie Harris reverses and comes back right for Trent Dilfer. Dilfer hands it to Ellison. Ellison hits the line and drives forward for about 3 yards out to the 39-yard line off the sides. George Kuntz down there at the bottom, and so is Sean Jones, and they stop him after a gain of about 3 yards.
One of the things the Packers want to do this year is get Leroy Butler closer to the line of scrimmage, get him more involved. And that time, he was the force man on the play, taking on the lead blocker, Mike Allstott.
So it's going to be a second down for Tampa Bay at the 39-yard line in their own territory. 3:28 to go in the first half of the ball game. Detroit is trailing Minnesota late in the ball game, 17-13. All right, here's a man in motion. Courtney Hawkins to the line of scrimmage. Dilfer, play action fake. Back to throw. Looks, comes up over the right side. It is caught. Hawkins gets away from one man and has a first down at the 48-yard line. Hawkins with a little hook pattern up around the 45, slid away from a defender, and has the first down at the 48.
Fritz Shermer is not going to get excited about the catch. They want to keep things in front of him. What he is going to get excited about is George Kuntz failing to make the tackle on the play. That's where he wants to see the action.
First down, Tampa Bay. What you really would like to do, Max, and what you need to do is keep your defense and let it rest a little bit. Packer defense has been out quite a bit in the first quarter, and they forced some plays against Tampa Bay. So it's a first down at the 48. Here is Dilfer. Handoff up the middle to Ellison. Tripped up just as he gets to the line of scrimmage and falls forward to about midfield. It looked as if Santana Dotson was the man who got a hand on it and tripped him up at that point.
This will be a great test for what condition you're in, Jim, today. To come out of training camp right down to here and play is a big test.
Where does Tampa Bay train? They train right here in town, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So they've been doing this every day.
So they're exhausted.
Yeah, right. They're worn out. Alvin Harper to the left and Courtney Hawkins to the right for Tampa Bay. Second down, about 8 yards to go. Ellison and Allstott, the running backs. And here is Dilfer, straight back in the pocket. No fakes this time, and he's under pressure. Fires over the middle, intercepted and dropped. Oh, my goodness. It was intercepted and then dropped. And that is George Kuntz. He had that ball perfectly in his hands. Dilfer made another mistake, and Kuntz couldn't hold on.
Well, you're right. Dilfer should never have thrown his football. Kuntz right in the right place, but like you say, hit him in a bad spot.
Yeah, he just couldn't drag it in. And I'll tell you what, Dilfer had to throw it because there was a man bearing down.
Sean Jones applied the pressure, and he's traditionally had good games against former Badger All-American Paul Gruber.
3rd down and 8. Harper goes to the left, a slot man on the left side in Williams. Jackie Harris is the slot on the right, and Courtney Hawkins split wide right. On 3rd down and 8 for Trent Dilfer. Dilfer on a draw play. Out it goes to Leroy Thompson, and Leroy Thompson a first down at the 40-yard line. The draw fooled the Packers.
Tell you what, the middle linebacker, Wayne Simmons, are in their dime defense. He's the only linebacker in the game. He's got to make that play. That time, though, Tony Mayberry, the Tampa Bay center, just blocked him.
So it is going to be a first down at the 40, and Tampa Bay converts a key 3rd down, trailing 10-0 with 1:33 to go in the first quarter from Tampa, Florida. This is not Tampa Bay, Florida. This is Tampa, Florida. Clearwater is that way, and St. Pete is that way, and Orlando's over there. Does that help you any?
Nope.
All right, first down at the 40-yard line. Single running back in Allstott for Tampa Bay. The Packers creeping up to the line of scrimmage. Dilfer hands it off to him, and he does hold on to it. Wasn't a real good handoff, and he drives forward with those powerful legs for about 5 yards.
I'll tell you, they're getting good blocking on the interior line there. They're moving the pack right off the line of scrimmage now, Jim.
That wasn't a real good handoff. Looked like their timing was a little wrong.
Nice cut by Mike Allstott, because Gilbert Brown did get some penetration, but he cut right behind that and allowed the blocker to get the job done.
2nd down, about 4 yards to go. We'll give 6 yards to Allstott on that rush.
He's one of those crazy guys that pulls cars and things like that.
Well, he's powerful. Very big kid.
245.
It is a 2nd down and 4 yards to go. I formation this time, and in motion, Dave Moore to the outside as a tight end. Here's the handoff. First guy up the middle. That's Allstott, and he drives to a first down at the 29. Allstott on a quick handoff and a quick hitter. Straight ahead, and the Tampa Bay running game may not miss Eric Red after all.
I'll tell you, they're rooting the pack right off that line of scrimmage, Jim, and that's a sign that Packers may be sucking wind a little bit here early.
Now you got to look at Gil, Santana, and George Kuntz to step up a lot tougher on those type of plays.
That's going to be the end of the quarter. At the end of one quarter, it is the Packers 10, Tampa Bay nothing. We'll take a break and be back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Football fans are checking out a new sport, the legendary Jeep Cherokee Sport, to be exact.
Handoff delayed to Jerry Ellison, trying to slide to the outside. He's going to be dropped at the 31-yard line. And out of that defensive secondary comes Doug Evans to make the tackle. But on that play, they had forced it wide.
Yeah, Sean Jones doing a nice job of stringing it all the way to the sidelines.
By the way, our Bud Packer payoff contestant here in the second quarter, Tom Tripp from Plymouth, Wisconsin. He's already won that 48-quart Budweiser cooler, and if the Packers score from 62 yards away, he can call at 799-1620 within 6 minutes and 20 seconds to win $620. All right, it is going to be a 2nd down at 11 at the 31 for Tampa Bay. I formation. Here is Dilfer. Dilfer play action fake and back to throw, and he's in trouble, and the ball is knocked away just as he released it from the outside. Reggie White got to him along with Sean Jones. They met at the quarterback. It's an incomplete forward pass.
I don't know about the Buccaneers blocking scheme, but that time they had Jerry Ellison trying to keep Reggie White out. Hey, that's somewhat of a mismatch.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 12. This game is brought to you by DirecTV. For the most NFL action available anywhere, got to be DirecTV, satellite TV at its very best. Now 3rd and 11, about 11 and a half yards for Tampa Bay.
Ellison saying, don't call that play anymore.
No, I didn't like that one at all. 2 receivers left, 2 right for Tampa Bay, and Trent Dilfer, and a single running back. Here is Dilfer straight back in the pocket, and here he fires to the sideline, incomplete. Boy, he never really had much rhythm on that play at all, and he fired it to the outside, and both of his cutters hadn't even made the cut when the ball went past.
And they were both in the same area, Jim. Not a very good pass pattern, obviously incomplete, but good defense over there by old number 21, who had a great day, Craig Newsom last week.
It is going to be a kicking down.
Packers doing a smart thing. They already got Darius Howland in there spelling one of the defensive linemen. Rushing the passer on a day like this can be exhausting.
A 48-yard field goal try by Michael Houston for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now we get a whistle and a timeout taken by the Packers. We'll take a... Let's see, are we going to take the break or not? The officials haven't said exactly. We will back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
This is a test of the emergency beer creamery next to River Place Mall.
It will be a 48-yarder. Packers with a strong defensive stance on that last series. It started with a first down at the 29. It is 4th down. It is 4th down at the 31-yard line.
Houston's been so-so in the preseason, just batting about 50%.
All right, waiting for the ball to get set down. It is. This is a high floater. Looks like it's long enough, and it is good. He made it. A 48-yarder for Michael Houston. We'll take a break and be back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Rembrandt, Michelangelo, Renoir. Now, Dan Marino and Steve.
Hey, folks.
Dan, Steve, let me get this straight. Now, rumor has it that you dip football equipment into paint and then apply it to canvas, correct?
Well, we throw it, actually, or toss it.
Showcase of good food. Brownies, guaranteed quality for less. Guaranteed quality for less.
Sidelined by a sports injury? With 4 full-time orthopedic surgeons in Rice Lake, we can get you back in the game.
Lakeview Medical Center, Rice Lake, we're committed to your health.
On to kickoff, Don Beebe took the ball about 3 yards deep in the end zone and came out with it. He only got back to the 15-yard line. That's a lot like Dino Sylvan did for Tampa Bay. So the Packers start from deep in their own territory. Freeman splits wide right, Robert Brooks to the left. And now Keith Jackson, the tight end, will line up on the left side. Split the 2 running backs wide behind Brett Favre. A lot of time. Pumps, throws upfield. There's Brooks. Brooks got the ball. Had it for a moment.
Boy, he's out.
And he's dropped to the surface, and he is lying flat on the surface at about the 43-yard line.
He took a forearm to the chin, just like a knockout, Jim, from one of the defenders. You'll see it on the replay here. He really took a lick on the side of the head.
Brooks was open.
Todd Scott.
He was wide open downfield on the play, too. That's the unfortunate part. And he's unable to catch and hold on to the ball, and he is flat out down on the field at about the 43-yard line. So they're taking a look to see whether or not they'll go on. The hit was made
Todd Scott.
by Todd Scott, the safety. So Robert Brooks is down, and they are working on him at about the 43. Looks like he's up on his knees right now. We're going to take another break. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
Football.
Defender would try to knock the ball loose, but he really caught him right in the head. By the way, we want to remind all of you that prior to next Monday night's game, tomorrow night is the first Monday night game. The second one is on September 9th. It is the canned food collection and dollar donations for Paul's Pantry up in Green Bay. I'll tell you about that in a minute. 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line. What a loud crowd and a good crowd here at Tampa. Brett Favre back to throw. Some pressure. Fires over the middle. It is caught. That's the first down at the 30-yard line. Oh, and a late hit there for the receiver for the Packers. And again, that appears to be Keith Jackson. Jackson just gets up and kind of shrugs everybody off, doesn't he?
He's a special weapon, and having him from day one is really going to help.
Well, I think that was a legal hit on the long pass downfield. It looks that way. And Scott just went up and kind of put a body shoulder block.
I'll tell you what, I think Brooks's head got it when it hit the ground, not
so
much from Todd.
Could very well have been.
Might have been.
First down at the 30-yard line for the Packers.
Now they'll line Keith Jackson up on the right side. 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Here is the handoff, trying to get to the outside. Bennett knocked off his feet by his own man. Reverses, goes back the other way, gets a block from Brett Favre. To the 40, 45, midfield and out of bounds at the 43-yard line. And what a block by Brett Favre, who came back and took out a defender for his team.
He got the key man that made a big gainer possible, Jim. A tremendous block by Favre.
You think he'll talk about that tomorrow?
Oh, you bet you will. And what happened, why the play got loused up, is Keith Jackson allowed penetration, which knocked off the pulling guard, Aaron Taylor, and then Edgar had to reverse his field.
Look at that block by Brett Favre. Perfect technique, folks. And Edgar Bennett has a first down for the Packers at the 48-yard line. Anyway, bring your canned goods, non-perishable goods, to the ball game next Monday night. There'll be barrels all outside the stadium, and drop your canned goods in there, and it'll help a great deal. Paul's Pantry. All right, first down at the 47-yard line for the Packers in Tampa Bay territory, leading 10-3. Here's the draw delay to Edgar Bennett, and no place to go. And that time, Warren Sapp made the tackle for Tampa Bay.
So far, Brett Favre is 6 out of 8 for 45 yards, including a touchdown pass. Trent Dilfer, 3 out of 7, 26 yards, and 1 interception.
And Brett's been the Packers' most effective blocker to date.
He's done everything. Let's see, we got a note from Paula Martin, wants to wish a special hello to her family and friends in Marathon watching today's game and celebrating Marathon Fun Days today. Hope they're all having a good time and enjoying the ball game. 10-3, the Packers. Second down and 10 yards to go from the 47-yard line. Here's Brett Favre. Has to run to the right. Looks for some help. Fires the ball upfield. Caught and dropped. They just tried to dive to the out of bounds and hold on was Antonio Freeman. Heck of a throw by Brett Favre. Freeman tried to dive and catch it. I don't know whether he could have gotten the feet in or not.
It would have been close, Jim, but a great effort by Favre. Threw a perfect pass. Freeman couldn't hang on to it.
By the way, up at Marathon, 75 people are gathered at Andy's house watching the game and the Fun Day Parade today. So have a good time, folks, in Marathon. Third down, Edgar Bennett goes out. Third down and 10.
Brett is so dangerous when he breaks the pocket.
He has really been active today, and that's kept him from being trapped back there so far. Third and 10. In motion goes Chimura to the outside. Favre straight back in the pocket. Short drop, steps up, takes a lot of time. Down the sideline and overshot his intended receiver. I'm not sure the receiver ever saw the ball, or maybe he knew he was out of bounds and had no chance to catch it.
He threw it away, I think. Yeah, Desmond Howard was the intended receiver on the play. That or a miscommunication about the route.
You know, the way he looked back, as he started to walk back to the bench, he kind of pointed to the sidelines as if he had gone out of bounds. But he didn't make much of an effort to try to catch the ball over the defender, and I'm not sure he could have.
Brett just walked off with Desmond Howard with his hand around his back. He said, "Hey, dummy, look around. The ball might hit you in the nose."
Here is Craig Hendrick back to do the kicking for the Packers. Nilo Silvan is the return man for Tampa Bay. Hendrick gets a good snap from center, hangs this one up. Let's see if he can keep it in. Now he's going into the end zone with it. And it is going to hit and bounce through the end zone and be taken out at the 20-yard line. So I believe we're going to get a break in the ball game. It is a 10-7 or 10-3 ball game. We'll take a break and be back after this. This is the Packer Radio Network. Kansas City edged Houston 20-19. Baltimore 19, Oakland 14, Philadelphia 17, Washington 14, Jackson 24, and Pittsburgh 9. Jacksonville, how about that?
Well, Carolina and Jacksonville both won.
Zilfer wants to throw long, instead comes short to Allstott, and he's hit and dropped. No, he didn't get dropped. He drives forward and goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Looked like he might have gone down at the 25, but he kept the knee from hitting the ground, and he proceeds upfield to the 31.
They like Mike Allstott, and we could see why he's right there. And right there, George Kuntz and Wayne Simmons also found out that this kid from Purdue is for real.
Brooks took a blow to the head under observation. He may return, is the word from down on the field. But if you depend on your car to perform, depend on 76 Gasolines to keep it a performance car. Courtney Hawkins splits to the left, and Tampa Bay starting to get a little rhythm with their offense. A first down play. Here is Dilfer, the handoff to the deep man. Allstott cuts against the grain and gets about 3 or 4 yards. Not much there. Wayne Simmons tripped him up and helped to bring him down at about the 34-yard line.
You're absolutely right when you say not much there, because Santana Dotson totally defeated Scott Adams, the blocker on the play, but this Allstott guy, he's a load to bring down.
They have Reggie Brooks into the lineup as well for Tampa Bay. So it is going to be second down.
Eric Rett better get in camp. He's getting beat out today.
Alvin Harper splits left, and to the right goes Courtney Hawkins.
If I was the Bucks, I wouldn't have him back. I wouldn't either.
Second down play. Dilfer short drop this time. Here's the blitz. He gets hit, and as he releases it to Allstott at the 40, the 45, and out of bounds at the 49. The blitz got there an instant too late. Looked like Leroy Butler coming up the middle for the Packers. He knocked him down, but it's a first down.
They had the perfect play call. They happened to catch the blitz right in the right spot. A perfect play. Nobody on him. A big game. Think about that. Leroy Butler did safety blitz. No blocker goes out on him. You got to get home or this happens.
And Allstott, he just refuses to go down. So he's got a first down at the 49-yard line. They are moving the ball well now. A 10-3 ball game with 9:47 to go in the first half.
There's a question about Allstott's speed coming out. He ran a 4.6 and change for the Bucks.
High formation with a wing on the right side and the tight end. He comes in motion to this near side for Tampa Bay. Here's the quick pitch back deep, and Reggie Brooks is caught backfield and drilled back at the 43-yard line by Brian Williams.
Nice.
Williams threw very quickly to knock him down, and a loss on the play of about 6 yards.
I believe it was Allstott trying to cut out Brian Williams' legs. Couldn't get it done. Brian is much too good of an athlete to go down on that kind of a block.
Quality, great selection, and the lowest overall prices are the reasons you should make Pick and Save your one and only food store. With the best overall value, shop at Pick and Save. When it comes to price, they're still talking low. Second and 15. You want to put Dilfer in the long down situation whenever you can.
I agree with that, but you also got to cover him.
All right, we'll see whether that happens or not. He takes a short drop, now retreats further, and fires a little short pass out to Reggie Brooks, who dropped it. He looked out on the outside. He had Leroy Butler, and on the inside was George Kuntz on the coverage. And he looked at both of them and forgot to catch the football. And that doesn't work very well. Third down.
Brooks, a late waiver wire pickup from the Washington Redskins just a week before the last exhibition game.
So it'll be third down at about 15 yards to go back at the 43-yard line for Tampa Bay. They got to get to the Packer 41.
He is so late they didn't put his number in the program.
He was a 1,000-yard rusher in 93, but he's also got fumbleitis, and he got in the doghouse in Washington.
4 wide receivers for Tampa Bay. Now, one of them looks to be beyond the line of scrimmage on this near side. Look at Alvin Harper. Here is Dilfer back to throw, and here they come after him. And now he steps up in the pocket, and they caught him, and he dumps it, trying to throw it off to the right. In the grasp of the quarterback, was the defender had him in the grasp, is what I'm trying to say. And as he tried to throw it, it just went into the ground, so it'll be fourth down, and again, a good defensive stance by the Packers.
Reggie White giving Doug Riesenberg all he wants.
Reminder to see the ABC Sports Bus at the Appleton Putzer's Big and Tall location this Friday from noon until 2 o'clock, as they unveil the new Monday Night Football on CD-ROM, and you can register for a trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii as well. A lot of things for you to do. Here is the punter for Tampa Bay, Barnhart, Tommy Barnhart. Look at this baby, a wobbler high and going to be taken at about the 15-yard line up the middle for a couple of yards, and that's all. Ball got there just a little bit too late for Desmond Howard. He had to wait for a long time before he caught the ball, and we'll get a timeout on the field. The score, the Packers 10, Tampa Bay 3. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network. So Mike Kelly says hello to everybody back home. First down for the Packers. They'll take the ball to the 17-yard line.
Robert Brooks back in the ballgame.
Brooks is in, and a first down with a single running back. And a play-action fake for Brett Favre. Back to throw. Got a man open out to the right side and overshot him. Chamorro was wide open at the 36-yard line. And Brett, with a little pressure on him from Eric Curry, threw the ball high. Just really didn't have a chance to get set.
Packers blocking scheme called for Keith Jackson to be blocking a full-grown defensive end, Eric Curry, and that was a problem. It's a mismatch.
So the pass is incomplete, and it will be second down. But, boy, the plays are there. If the timing's a little better, Max, there have been some big gainers possible today. Chamorro almost made a great play.
Well, he did, but he slowed down, Jim. If he runs, he catches the ball. If he just continues to run, he stopped to jump, and the ball went over his head. He should have caught it.
Coach Lombardi never liked guys who jump.
Well, no, you run under the ball.
It's going to be a second down for the Packers. Here's Brett Favre, long count, and the handoff to the left side. Dorsey Levens searching for a hole, dives out to about the 24-yard line. They're going to say his knee went down at about the 22.5-yard line.
Nice job by Aaron Taylor pulling around on that play because it wasn't real clear who to get, but Aaron found somebody. Dorsey Levens gets a few yards.
Our ball game today brought to you by Mick Golden, the smooth golden one that goes down easy. Michelob Golden Draft, smooth over everything. So it's going to be a third down. The Packers haven't been able to move the ball the last couple of series. They need to keep it going here and see what they can do about increasing the lead, which is 10-3 with 7:55 to go in the second quarter here from Tampa, Florida. 2 receivers to the right and a tight end to the left side for the Packers. And Brett Favre apparently changing the play at the line of scrimmage and a timeout. And come back after this from your local station on the Packer. Oh, let's see. No, we're going to stay right here. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to stay right here. We've had a lot of breaks up to this point, and we're going to stay right here, and we'll keep it here. Kohl's Department Store is your headquarters for great Packer merchandise. Jackets, sweatshirts, jerseys, and hats. If you're a Packer fan, we'll make it worth your while. Kohl's, that's more like it. Well, we caught up on the commercial. I didn't mean to catch you guys by mistake here. This is a big position in the ball game, Max, in that you seem to have slowed down a little offensively.
That's right. 3rd down and 6, a big play here. I think if Packers could keep the ball here, I think they could get something on the board before halftime, but punt the ball back to a pretty good offense right now may not be a good idea.
It's an opportunity to salute Marquette Electronics, their partner in travel. Midwest Express Airlines, the best care in the air, the official airline of the Green Bay Packer Radio Network. All right, 3rd down, and what a loud crowd we have here at Tampa today. Brett Favre needs a first down play. Here's Brett straight back in the pocket. Here they come, and he dances away. Fires it upfield. First down, Antonio Freeman to the 34-yard line. Brett could feel a defender coming from behind him, Larry, and he got rid of that football, and there's Antonio Freeman for the first down.
Packers lined up what's called a tight flank. Both tight ends on the same side of the line of scrimmage, and Tampa Bay just overloaded that way. Packers didn't have enough blockers when the receivers ran the routes, and once again, Brett Favre, what an
what's the word?
Improvisational.
He's a good improviser. Whatever it is. Well, let me tell you something.
Vince Lombardi taught me that, by the way.
And Antonio Freeman got in an open spot. Very important.
All right, first down at the 35-yard line. Here's the quick handoff. Up the right side goes Edgar Bennett. Tried to turn it upfield. Ran into some defenders at about the 38. Hardy Nickerson among a group that met him at the 38-yard line. Not a bad run by Edgar, because what he did was he tried to shoot up through that hole, Max, and the hole just closed a little bit too quickly for him.
That's because they didn't have very good blocking. Adam Timmerman pulled the lead. He got his job, but the inside guys didn't do a good enough job sealing off the pursuit, and that's why I got
a note here from Joel and Jill who want to say hello to the families back in Fort Atkinson and Waukesha, and this is Jill's 21st birthday. None of us remember our 21st birthday, but I know it's a happy day. Second down and 8 at the 38-yard line. Brett Favre on the handoff. They're going to reverse it. Around the left side comes Robert Brooks to the 35. Oh, to the 40-yard line. That play looked wide open, and Derek Brooks tackled Robert Brooks and stopped the play. That one should have gone a long way.
I think Brett Favre did a good thing. He missed Derek Brooks, and Derek Brooks is a real man. We may have lost our quarterback.
Well, we didn't get much out of a play that looked awfully good. Looked like it was very well set up.
Well, it was set up good early, Jim. And he was one block away from breaking a long one, but that one block happened to be the Brett's man, and he didn't get him. No, he wasn't in position to cut him, and I don't like the matchup, Derek Brooks against Brett, 1-on-1.
Third down and 5 yards to go at the 40-yard line. We have 5:44 to go in the first half of the game, 10-3 the Packers. Here's Brett Favre. Play action fake. Rolls to the right on the bootleg. He can run. Instead, he throws it to William Henderson. First down at midfield. Henderson to the 49-yard line as he rolls away. Little bootleg to the right by Brett Favre. He can do either way. He can run or throw it, and he threw it for the first down.
I'll tell you, the bootlegs and rollouts have just been phenomenal today, Jim. Every time he throws so good on the run that when he's out there, he is more dangerous than he is in the pocket. And they leave the defensive end unblocked on purpose, and the guy's in a pickle. Do I rush the quarterback and he tosses it over my head, or do I drop and try to cover the receiver and let Brett run forever? They're really in a quandary there.
So it'll be first down at the 48-yard line of Tampa Bay. And all this while, the Packer defensive unit has gotten some needed rest.
Yeah, it's hard to rest, though, when it's 105 on the bench.
In a cool zone. Single running back, Dorsey Levens for the Packers on first down. Here's Brett straight back in the pocket. They break down a screen. He's got great protection out in front. Levens to the 45, to the 40. Levens to the 35, and inside the 30 to the 29.
Great job on the outside by Aaron Taylor, staying on his feet, and then Frankie Winters cleaning up at the end. Really well executed screen.
Pretty good running, too.
Absolutely, Jim. I tell you, they're swapping off him and what's the other?
Edgar Bennett.
The other fullback, Henderson, and they're both doing great jobs.
Dorsey, is he going to work out of the one-back set all the time?
Well, that'll be part of it, but he's a guy, not so much a blocker. You want the ball in Dorsey's hands, as Max has said. He's a playmaker.
Right.
I mean, you want the ball in his hands.
First down at the 29-yard line of Tampa Bay. 10-3 ball game. High formation with Edgar Bennett, the deep back for the Packers from the 29. Favre sends a man in motion to the right. That's Keith Jackson. Here's the handoff to Edgar Bennett up the middle, a couple of yards, and then squirms forward to about the 26. Gain of 3 on the play by Edgar Bennett. You know, for your family's banking, rely on the best. Rely on First Financial Bank, currently the best bank in Wisconsin, according to Money Magazine. First Financial Bank, an equal housing lender and a member FDIC.
Packers bringing their eagle formation in 4 wideouts.
Just a name, right? Eagle just means 4 wideouts.
Yeah, well, it means they're going to the air.
Probably going to throw.
Most of the time, anyway.
They're second down and 7 yards to go for the Packers at the 26. And a draw play goes to Dorsey Levens, who drives close to a first down at about the 19-yard line. Most of the time was the key phrase there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it really makes sense to run the ball because by spreading you out with wide receivers, it spreads out the defense as well.
He's short of the first down by half a yard. This is the devil play for the Packers right here.
Well, they'll make it today.
Okay.
This is one heck of a nice drive at the end of the half.
It really is, with 3:09 remaining in the first half of the ball game. Into the lineup defensively for Tampa Bay now comes Melvin Johnson back at safety, and going out of there is Charles Demery.
Well, they took Levens out. I think he's their best short yardage runner, but he's not in there.
Well, Edgar Bennett is in as the running back. In motion goes Chimuro to the left side. Here's the handoff to Edgar Bennett.
Got it.
He got the first down all the way to the 17, maybe the 16-yard line. Pretty good surge by the right side of the offensive line that time.
I think Earl Dotson's their best drive blocker, and get behind Earl's big rear end, and you'll gain some yards.
This Packer broadcast is sponsored by your neighborhood Quick Trip store, where the best low price is just down the street.
We probably owe you a station identification. Is that what we'd like? 10 seconds. This is a Packer Radio Network.
For Turtle Lake, Luck, and all of Wisconsin's great Northwest, this is WJMC-FM, Rice Lake, Spooner.
Out of the 17, little toss over the middle. It is caught by Edgar Bennett inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line, close to a first down, about a yard shy. Just a little circle route out of the backfield by Edgar Bennett.
Good move by Bennett after he caught the ball, Jim. Got that just enough to get almost a first down.
And we're going to get a stop of the clock because we've reached the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the first half. 10-3 Packers. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
Badger Steel and Fabricating in Rice Lake wants to be your steel.
2 minutes ought to be good enough to get in from the 9, huh?
You would think so. So we got a lot of notes that have been sent up to us today. There are so many people that come down here. Most of them, however, like to come down later in the season. Antonio Freeman splits to the left side. Brooks is a slot on the left side. Chamorro right as the tight end for the Packers. Here's Favre on a bootleg, rolling to the right, pitches it out into, dropped. At the 5-yard line, Keith Jackson dropped the ball wide open. He wasn't going to get to the end zone, but he would have had a 1st and goal. Now it becomes 3rd down and 2.
He was thinking about getting to the goal line. That's why he dropped it. He took his eye off the ball. As you can see, it hit him right in the chest. And he took his eye off, and that was the end of that.
You know what? I think there are few people in this league, maybe even in the past, who could throw on the run as well as Brett Favre can.
None. That's why he's the defending, reigning MVP.
Yes.
He's something special.
Well, that could be a costly play. Now you got to come right back and take it into the end zone, and they used their last time out, folks. Brett Favre, having trouble with the communication with a minute 56 to go, has to take a timeout. We'll remind you that this Packer broadcast sponsored by your neighborhood Quick Trip Store, where the best low price is just down the street.
I'm sure the coaches are.
And you have a split receiver to the right in Antonio Freeman, and Chamorro is tight to the right side, single running back on 3rd down and 2. Brett Favre, short drop, comes to the outside, got a first down. He dropped it. Freeman dropped the ball at the 6 with a 1st and goal.
They'll have to kick a field goal.
Yeah, they will. That is a very difficult series for the Packers. 2 drop balls by Keith Jackson and Antonio Freeman, and the drives would have been kept alive, and now they'll have to try the field goal.
You know, you'd start talking about wet hands or something, but everybody wears gloves today.
Sure.
What's the deal?
They just dropped it. Freeman had clearly the first down at the 6 on a well-run pattern by the Packers. Can't afford to make the mistake. So the field goal try will be 27 yards by Chris Jackie. Hentrick is the holder for Green Bay. Ball's a little high. He got it down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. He made it. I'll tell you what, that was a terrific job by Craig Hentrick on a high snap, and his hands apparently weren't wet.
He's an excellent, excellent holder. And we've got some sort of penalty or melees on the field right now.
The officials are conferring, and let's see what they're going to rule, and we'll pick up the call by the official right here. Holding. It'll be an automatic first down. It's a holding call against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know that old saying about taking it off the board? Well, I think you may see it right here.
Well, they're going to take the 3 points off. You're absolutely right. It'll be a 1st and goal, half the distance to the goal line.
I would agree with that 1,000%.
Oh, me too.
And how incredibly stupid by Tampa Bay. I'll tell you, there's a very famous coach said, never take numbers off the scoreboard, however.
1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Well, we'll find out whether it works or not. A minute 46, no timeouts remaining for the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre looking back to the bench, looking for a signal. Say, give me something new. They still are waiting for it, and the official hasn't marked the ball in play yet. Now he does right there. So they still have 25 seconds in which to snap the ball.
New life.
Get it into the end zone. You've had 2 guys with a chance to make plays, and they didn't do it. Bennett, the lone running back. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends for the Packers. Brett Favre wants to throw it again. Holmes comes over the middle.
Oh, is he open?
Touchdown this time. Caught in the end zone. Keith Jackson. 2nd touchdown pass of the day by Brett Favre, and Jackson didn't drop it that time.
How can you lose a guy that big in the end zone? He was running around all by himself, Jim. Perfect pass, a big TD. Another example of Brett's arm strength. There's 3 defenders in the area, right through them all to Keith Jackson for 6.
I'll tell you what. Tampa Bay's learning the lesson. You cannot make mistakes in the game. A fumble, an interception, and now a penalty have cost them a total of 17 points in the game. And that, by the way, was the first penalty of the game on either side.
It's one thing Tony Dungy's trying to solve down there.
Here is the kick. The kick is up, and it is good. 17-3 in favor of the Packers on the 4-yard touchdown pass for the touchdown. Well, today's game is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. For a taste you'll find in no other beer at any price. This Bud's for you. Now then, you make a good defensive stance, and then things pick up in the locker room nicely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Packers are going in terrific shape. But the thing about Tampa Bay, they were out there basically for an 82-yard drive. Their defense has got to be spent, I would think, for the rest of the game.
1:40 to go here in the second quarter with the Packers taking the lead. Max, the drive is 82 yards in 14 plays. Now, granted, it got a life on the penalty, but that's a lot of plays, 14.
Oh, that was a great drive, Jim. Brett Favre looking every bit as good as I've ever seen him in any game. He is just terrific today. He's got that quick rollout of just eating these boys up.
You know, Brett was so tied in knots before the game, the pressure of the league opener and so forth. He's out there with a couple of gummy bears eating by the dozen.
I tell you, remember a couple of years ago, he started every game by throwing a couple of high ones and never got into till the second. He started good today, and he's been good ever since.
Well, fans, today's contestant in the quick score contest didn't correctly pick the first Packer to score in the second quarter, but maybe you can enter to win a year's supply of quality gasoline at your neighborhood Quick Trip stores throughout the state of Wisconsin. All right, here is the kickoff by Hendrick. The fourth kickoff of the day by Hendrick, by the way. And this is the floater to Nino Sylvan at the 2-yard line. He comes back up the middle to the 10. Looks for a hole. Gets through and knocked down about the 20-yard line. May have tripped over his own man who was trying to throw a block for him. And then the Packers interceded and stopped him right there at the 20-yard line. With 1:35 to go, Tampa Bay has some time to work the football, and they'll go into their 2-minute drill right here. What a great Dilfer, who is 5 of 11, 52 yards today. Dilfer's a big kid. He's got a good arm. Throwing it in the right spot has been the problem. And the draw play, and there is nothing there. They lose a couple of yards. And it is Sean Jones who made the initial hit and knocked him down for the Packers.
Darius Holland also getting nice penetration on the play. He's been in for Gilbert Brown lately. Gilbert's got a bruised knee.
I'm reading in all of the magazines and watching all of the shows that there is no offensive line for the San Francisco 49ers. So they are leading New Orleans 24-0. Here's the pitch to the left side, knocked away at about the 41-yard line, intended out on the right side. Is that Sylvan? I'm not sure it was, but he got hit much the way Robert Brooks got hit.
Looked like Mike Pryor got over there and laid the bone on him.
Third down, 1:08 to go, so the Packers have a chance to get some time back with the ball if they can make a stop here. Boy, he did get laid out, didn't he? My goodness. I don't even have an 81 on my... Oh, yeah, that's Jackie Harris. That's the tight end, Jackie Harris, who got hit on that play.
Welcome back, Jack.
It is third down, 11 yards to go for Tampa Bay. From under center goes Trent Dilfer, not out of the shotgun today. Back goes Dilfer, short drop, looks good, arm out to the outside, this time overshot his intended receiver, Carl Williams, a rookie out of Texas A&M. And with 1:02 to go, the Packers have a little bit of time to work with it. Now you wish you had the timeouts back for you.
Well, that's right, Jim, but if they can just get it and get into halftime with a 14-point lead, it won't be a bad half of football.
But even now, if they drive for a field goal, I bet they take any air left in Tampa Bay's tail and just
the
yank it
interesting
out.
thing about Tampa Bay, you could see a rested Packer defense in that series right there.
That's right.
It was clear they were ready to go.
And the Bucs defense still's got to be sucking.
All right, here is the kick by Tommy Barnhart. And he gets a lot of time. This is a high floater. All right, Desmond Howard is retreating all the way back to the 27-yard line. Howard comes to the right, got a block up the middle of the 40, to the 45, and down at the 47 or 8-yard line. Good initial move by Howard to get himself open. He got a great block to the outside, Max, and that opened him up, and the Packers got some room to operate right now.
Yeah, a lot of those good returns start up the middle, Jim, just like he broke it, because once you get through that first line, you've got a little running room, and now the Packers do have a chance to get something.
Well, now, here's an interesting situation. With 49 seconds to go, we got an injured player.
Dorsey Levens.
He is down on the field. I'm not sure. I think it has to be in the last few seconds before you're penalized 10 yards on a play like that because you're out of timeout. In order to get a chance at a field goal, 49 seconds remain for Brett Favre. Favre straight back in the pocket, 17-3. He steps up, now looks, wants to throw, does fire.
Got him wide open. Wide open. Keith Jackson to the 10. He flashes to the 5. Touchdown. He reads in for the touchdown and scores for Green Bay. Jackson got lost again.
I'll tell you, Brett Favre, only 1 yard from being beyond the line of scrimmage, Jim, threw another perfect bomb to our great new tight end, and that's 3 TDs in 1 half.
And Charles Dimry trying to, looks like a school kid trying to tackle Keith Jackson. Amazing.
Jackson, what was really interesting about the play, Jackson stopped and said, all right, it's me and you on one-on-one from here to the end zone, and that fellow didn't want anything to do with that.
That big guy is a hoss. It is tough to bring him down.
Boy, if you think a field goal would take the air out of them, wait till they go in now and talk about just in the last 30, 40 seconds they put a bomb on you.
Well, that one is 51 yards. Here's the try for the extra point. That's good. And it becomes 24-3 in favor of the Green Bay Packers. And again, some of the starch is going to be taken out of the Tampa Bay fans as well.
You betcha. I mean, know what they're thinking right now? New coach, same old Bucks. Same old Bucks. They're not going to win anything.
51 yards in one play, set up on a nice return by Desmond Howard to start that whole play running.
Boy, you're right, Jim. And a great defensive play to, where they had forced them to punt in 3 downs.
And obviously just a blown coverage by Tampa Bay. Just a blown coverage.
But you know what there is about Keith Jackson? He never stops. He just keeps running and working, trying to get open for you.
You know, he's a guy that owns the field deep in between the hashes, in between the safety. He just owns that area.
No, the Packers have taken the lead at halftime with 39 seconds remaining.
By a score of
24-3.
If you wonder why there's so much noise, Jim, it's the Packer fan. Look in those 2 sections where all the green shirts. It's not the Tampa Bay fans, it's the Packer fans.
So the kickoff for Hendrick, the 5th time in this half that Hendrick has kicked off.
Keith Jackson with 2 touchdowns for the Packers. He really has picked up where he left off in the playoffs. Here's the high floater to Sylvan. Sylvan at the goal line. He'll come back behind the blocking, doesn't know where to go. Now he goes to the outside. Good move. Still trying to get to the outside, but taken on one-on-one on the outside by Mullen, isn't it?
Roderick Mullen.
Roderick Mullen, who took him on one-on-one and dropped him. And that leaves 35 seconds to go here in the half. Tampa Bay just want to get into the end zone or into the locker room as quickly as they can to do some regrouping. A first down at the 20-yard line.
Designated pass rusher Keith McKenzie in there.
Dilfer's going to throw on first down, and he comes up to the right side. They let him catch it, and Leroy Butler makes him pay for it at about the 26-yard line, and a timeout quickly taken. That's Leroy Thompson who made the catch, and Tampa Bay will stop the clock with 26 seconds remaining here in the first half of the game. Don't forget, at halftime, we'll go back to the studios and find out what the fellows thought of this first half of the contest. The Mills Fleet Farm halftime question of the week is coming up. We'll talk with Max and Larry about what went on here in the first half of this ball game. And we'll remind you which team has the hottest new rookie sensation. The team at your local McDonald's restaurant. They just added the Arch Deluxe to their all-star lineup, and it looks like a winner. With or without bacon, it's sure to make your starting lineup. So Tampa Bay will take the ball at the 26-yard line. Alvin Harper had been to the sidelines along with Trent Dilfer, and he goes back to the huddle. The backups, in case you're not aware of it, Casey Weldon in his 5th year out of Florida State is the number 1 backup. And Scott Milanovich from Maryland, a rookie, is the inactive 3rd quarterback today. Second down and about 4 yards to go with 26 seconds remaining. The ball at the 26-yard line for Tampa Bay. 24-3 to Packers. Dilfer back to throw, looking, retreating, and he pushed backwards a little bit. Jackie Harris catches the ball, goes to the sidelines, and is pushed out at the 35-yard line to stop the clock at 18 seconds remaining.
Dilfer got the ball away, but I'll tell you what, Doug Riesenberg, the right tackle, is not looking forward to the second half. Reggie is just abusing him right now.
6'5", 280 pounds in his 10th year from California, so it's not like it's a rookie that Reggie's working against. It's a 10-year man. Going to be a first down for Tampa Bay from the 35-yard line. By the way, Brett's 12 out of 19 for 162 yards and 3 touchdowns, so he's off to a good start. Maybe a sensational start.
Without drops, he's up to 16 or so.
You're right.
19.
All right, it is going to be a first down with 18 seconds remaining. Dilfer back to throw it. Here they come. Reggie hit him again. To the sidelines, incomplete. Over on the sidelines, good coverage by Craig Newsom, who pushes the intended receiver out of bounds and then goes to help Alvin Harper up. And I mean, Dilfer got hit. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage. Probably holding against Tampa Bay.
That time, Reggie and Santana ran what's called a tackle end stunt, where the tackle goes to the outside rush lane and Reggie comes inside. No contest.
You know what happened then? Reggie and Sean Jones got there just slightly thereafter, and Reggie looked back and said, no, me, it's my turn. You wait.
Those two colliding is how Reggie got hurt
right.
at that Viking
And you know
game
what? It's about the second time today that's happened to them here already. They have collided a couple of times.
When they say meet at the quarterback, they mean it.
It is going to be still a second down, a first down and 20 on the holding call. And this has been a first half without penalty against the Packers. Isn't that amazing after last week? First down at the 25-yard line, and the Packers started to move, but that's because the right tackle, Scott Adams, had already moved for Tampa Bay. He was up and ready to block. I have the feeling that Tampa Bay just may kneel on this ball and let this last 12 seconds go. It's probably a lot safer.
Yeah, get in the house and see if they can figure out something different.
You know, the trouble for Tampa Bay now with Green Bay's pass rush, they're looking at a second half of passing the ball a ton.
Yep.
Their offensive linemen have to be a little worried about it.
So first down and 25 for Tampa Bay. Still 12 seconds to go here in the first half. And this is not helping the tax referendum vote for Tampa Bay right here. Not at all. Here is Dilfer. Dilfer on the drop ball. In the middle, the ball's loose, and Dilfer got on it. Boy, it's a good thing he did, because the Packers would have had time for a field goal, and now the clock is going to run out. They stopped the clock with 3 seconds because it is behind the line of scrimmage, and now they'll start it up again. The crowd is not cheering and not booing Santana Dotson. They're booing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the clock has run out. That's the end of the first half, 24-3 in favor of the Packers. Back with our halftime programming after this on the Packer Radio Network.
When Dodge introduced the first Caravan back in 1984, it was hailed by critics as an original. Now,
off is Don Beebe at the 4, back up to the 10, looking for a hole to the 20, through that hole to the 30, inside to the 35, and down at about the 36-yard line. Good return by the Packers to the 36, and some very intelligent running by Don Beebe on the return.
Saw nice patience by Don, staying behind the wall and so forth. Not a spectacular return, but just solid. Well blocked, well run.
Well, you know what? I think that's what is beginning, Max and Larry, to distinguish the Packers, the veteran experience that you see week after week out on the field.
I'll tell you, I'm more impressed by the way Brett Favre has command of the field down there, Jim. He rolls out and looks around, and he finds somebody every time, and he finds the right guy, and that's something he didn't do that well 2 or 3 years ago. He's got better every year, and now he's unbelievable.
So it is going to be a first down. Good field position at the 35-yard line. Chimuro's the tight end to the right side on a first down play, and Favre wants to throw it. Look at that protection. Now it breaks down, and he has to pull the ball down at the 32-yard line. That is a coverage sack downfield. Warren Sapp is in on the play, but he had plenty of time to throw it. He just apparently didn't have anybody to throw it to.
That's exactly right. He had time to take his looks, make his reads, and eventually Warren Sapp got off Adam Timmerman.
So it is going to be a loss of about 3 yards on the play. Interesting that they were going to go to the air right away here in the start of this second quarter.
You know, I have a feeing Brett Favre had somebody speak to him last week or so about shoveling that thing off.
Hold on.
You just take your sack, because he did not try to get rid of it.
I was going to say the same thing. He took very good care of it. All right, so it's a second down at about 13 yards to go. Man in motion to the right is Chimura. Here's Favre on the handoff, and then back deep in the secondary is Warren Sapp again, and Sapp's having one heck of a game, and I don't know whether we wore out the defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or not.
Well, he's having the best 2 first plays of the second half of anybody, I'll say that.
That time Sapp just beat Aaron Taylor out of the stance right from the get-go and got great penetration. Not much chance to run the ball on that.
So it becomes third down and 16 with the ball resting back at the 29-yard line. We started at the 35.
Now Tampa Bay is trying to play the Viking penetrating defense. Obviously it helps to have the John Randalls of the world to do it, but Warren Sapp is the guy that's supposed to be like John Randall.
Well, he's done all right so far in this ball game. Here's Brett Favre on third down and long. Breaking down on him. He tries to run away from it. He's still on his feet. Throws the ball upfield, and it's caught first down
inbound
at the 44-yard line. What a catch by Antonio Freeman. You think this kid's a second-year player? Oh, my, he has so much going for him. And Freeman at the sidelines did the little ballet tiptoe.
That's a veteran move right there, Jim. He had no room whatsoever. He tapped both feet in.
Look
Great
at that.
catch.
And guys, let's not forget Brett Favre buying time, scanning the field, and throwing it right on the money.
Dorsey Levens comes in. Out goes Edgar Bennett. Also going out of the ball game is William Henderson. So they're going to go with one back, and now they are a man short. This is the one area where the Packers have suffered all day long. And again, it is a wide receiver, Don Beebe, who comes running in late. I'm not sure who's supposed to be that guy, either Desmond Howard or Beebe, and they just didn't get there in time. And Tampa Bay jumps offside. Eric Curry was in the backfield. The Packers on the draw play, and it goes down to the 36-yard line, a gain of about 7 or 8 on the play. But Tampa Bay's Eric Curry was in the backfield before the ball was snapped.
Normally you blow that dead, but...
well, I don't think he made contact with anybody as he crossed the line, and so they let the play go through. And it is offside, Tampa Bay. Now, let's see. The gain on the play was about 8. You may take the play and make it a second down and 2. declined. So you'll get the gain on the play for Dorsey Levens.
Sure, Dorsey likes that.
I would think so. On a hot day like today, you make a run, you want to keep the yardage.
Mike Holmgren probably likes it, too, because he gets sick of people talking about the Packers' running game.
Second down and 2 yards to go. They had 57 yards at the half, Larry, so they were on a pretty good pace. It is 24-3 in favor of the Packers. On the second down and 2 yards to go for Brett Favre. Handoff goes up the middle. Edgar Bennett steps to the left, goes up through the hole, and picks up about 4 yards to the 32-yard line, and a first down for Green Bay.
Up front, the Packers using kind of a wash technique. Frankie Winters and Aaron Taylor washing out of the nose man. Come off late on the linebackers. You get those down people blocked, you gain positive yardage.
Isn't it interesting how one play has keyed this whole drive? You're a little flat for 2 plays. You're down to 3rd and 16, and you get a great play from your wide receiver, Antonio Freeman, and now things are just flowing the other way.
It's a big play offense. Exactly what it is.
First down at the 32-yard line of Tampa Bay. Here is the man in motion to the right, Chimera. Here's the inside handoff, and driving on a little crossbuck is Henderson down to about the 27, 28-yard line for a gain of about 3. You know, you could win a new Arctic Cat Puma Deluxe snowmobile. No purchase is necessary. Just enter when you visit your participating Arctic Cat dealer, including Ryden's Hazelhurst Marine, that's in Hazelhurst, and the Englehart Center in Madison. 3 changes made by the Packers now. Chimera goes out, Bennett goes out, and Henderson goes out.
Beebe and Desmond Howard in for that Eagle formation.
4 wide receivers and a single running back in Dorsey Levens on a second down and about 7 yards to go. Here's Favre on the draw play to Dorsey Levens. Had to run out of his own man and go right over the top of it. Was that Dotson who got in his way? Anyway, somebody did.
It was Frankie Winters. That time it was one of those deals where the Packers blocked down with their right guard. Adam Timmerman on the nose man. Frankie pulls around. Frankie has a little trouble getting over the bodies and so forth.
Well, he still picked up a decent gain on the play, down to about the 23-yard line to make it a 3rd down and 2.
I tell you, Dorsey Levens, even though he didn't get much help there, still got several yards. I tell you, this guy's strong.
You know, it was big news this past week. Dorsey's not going to start. Doesn't make any difference. They're all going to play. It depends on situations.
He has 7 carries, 32 yards so far today, and a 3rd down and 2 at the 24-yard line of Tampa Bay. About the 23, really. Here's a play-action fake by Brett Favre. Rolls to his left. Is he going to try to run for the first down? And he didn't get there.
He didn't get it.
A half a yard shy. And let's see where they're going to put the ball down.
He's a good yard shy.
Yeah, he's going to be right at the 22-yard line. He just didn't have the foot speed. They had the angle on him as he tried to roll to the left. And he's rolled out of bounds, and they're going to go for the field goal.
Yeah, I think he made a bad decision there, Jim. Chimera, he was going to dump it. Chimera, he said he thought he could see a first down, and he didn't get it, so he probably misjudged the deal there.
What I was yesing about, I thought Chimera had the angle on Reagan Upshaw to really clean his clock, but unfortunately he didn't.
By the way, Denver, highly thought of in the AFC, has a 31-0 lead on the Jets at halftime. 31-0. This will be a 40-yard field goal try by Chris Jackie. Ball is down. The kick is on the way by Chris. Good and solid and good. And the Packers have scored and take the lead now, 27-3, with a timeout on the field. Back after this word from your local station here on the Packer Radio Network.
Marty Becker Motors now at their new location on Highway Double S.
Here's the kickoff by Hendrick again. Hendrick with a high floater. Sylvan deep in his own end zone.
Wow.
Now he's coming. Now he decides. He wanted to come out. He took about 3 steps forward, and somebody said, "Are you crazy?" And down he went into the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, where it becomes a first down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their first possession. We're going to get a timeout before we move any farther. We'll take a break and be back after this. This is the Packer Radio Network. We just like to settle down, get something going, do a little work here that's positive for Tampa Bay. Dilfer's going to throw on first down. Short drop, looks up the right side, and it is caught at about the 29-yard line and immediately drilled to the turf is Alvin Harper. I think that's Harper's first catch of the day. Some other scores for you at the half. It is, well, let me see. Miami 17, New England 3. Good start for Jimmy Johnson. San Francisco 24, New Orleans nothing. It is 13-7 in favor of San Diego over Seattle in the third quarter of that game. All right, a second down at about a yard. Handoff to the deep man, and driving forward for the first down is Jerry Ellison to about the 31-yard line. Ellison with a gain of a couple of yards. It'll be a first down for Tampa Bay.
Eugene Robinson up to make the tackle. Brian Williams had a shot at him early, did everything right except finish the play.
So it is going to be a first down for Tampa Bay. I'm trying to pick up the Brewers score here. Can't do that just yet. Watch and see what it happens if it brings the Brewers score up there, Max.
You sure they're playing? I haven't seen a score all day.
It's the first down at the 31. Dilfer back to throw. Dilfer looking, comes up over on a little quick slant for about 3 or 4 yards to about the 36-yard line. They're going to make it a 5-yard gain. Got a little pushing and shoving that went on as well after that play.
These kind of plays ain't going to get them back into it.
8:22 to go, third quarter of the game here from Tampa, Florida. Boy, it is a warm, humid day, and the skies are now clearing off, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous day. It's a great day to be playing golf, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, ain't much for football.
Second down, and 5 to go for Tampa Bay. Darius Holland playing in the middle in place of Gilbert Brown still. Dilfer back to throw, got some good protection. The ball comes upfield, incomplete. It was muffled for just a moment, fumbled quickly, and Jackie is that. I'm trying to see whether it was Jackie Harris that is coming back to the huddle or not. He had double coverage, whomever it was, that tried to catch the ball. Again, we're so high up, sometimes it is difficult to tell.
Santana Dotson, real nice move on left guard Jim Pine, flying the heat.
So it is going to be third down for Tampa Bay. And again, Dilfer gets hit by Santana Dotson as he releases the ball.
I don't believe the Packers have any sacks, but they have applied consistent pressure, which is sometimes just as good.
Third down, 5 yards to go. 27-3 in favor of the Packers as Dilfer brings his team to the line of scrimmage. 2 men split wide to the right, 1 to the left for Dilfer, and he needs a timeout. He wanted to move, couldn't do it. He takes a timeout, so will we. Back after this is the Packer Radio Network.
McDonald's is now
6-yard line. It becomes a third down and about 5.5 yards to go for Tampa Bay. Trent Dilfer is the quarterback. Dilfer so far today is 9 of 18, 50% for 81 yards. So averaging about 9 yards of completion. Dilfer looks over the Packer defensive line. He's got 2 receivers right, 2 left. Man in motion to the near side. And Dilfer with a short drop and a quick inside slant pattern. Is it good for a first down? A fumble. It appears the Packers may have recovered.
And it's fumble again.
And who's got the ball? Packers have the ball at the 45-yard line. It was caught for a first down, then fumbled. The Packers recovered and have the ball at the 45-yard line. And let's see how that play developed and who did what.
I think there was some confusion by the official. He didn't know which way to call it. He didn't know if he caught the ball or not, but we'll see here. No, he didn't catch the ball.
That was Alvin Harper who got it and picked up by the Packers. Alvin Harper. It appeared Doug Evans might have gotten on the ball. And the Packers take over the ball, and they'll do it at the 45. First down for the Packers at the 45-yard line. And Dilfer just has seen his team make a lot of mistakes today. Very well, we have a moment again. Let's remind everybody, Monday night, to bring the canned foods and donations to Paul's Pantry at the ball game. That's the Packers Women's Association.
Bring it to Lambeau Field. The Packer Wives Food Drive goes to Paul's Pantry. Monday night.
Great cause, too, so do that. From the 45, Brett Favre wants a quick one. Looks, comes off to the right side. It is caught at the 40-yard line for a gain of about 5 yards. The receiver on the right side, Keith Jackson, was kind of falling backwards, but he made the catch. That is his 5th catch of the day. He had 12 all of last season, so he's catching up quickly.
Classic Green Bay pass pattern. They've got Dorsey Levens short, Robert Brooks deep, and Keith Jackson right in between, wide open.
7 minutes and 24 seconds to go, 27-3 in favor of the Packers. Out of a man split off wide to the left, the Packers 4 receiver set. That's Don Beebe, who's wide out to the left side. Dorsey Levens, the lone running back. Back to throw goes Favre, double pumps over
wide
the
open.
Middle. There is the pass in the middle. Antonio Freeman down to the 20-yard line. Freeman with another little finesse pass. Not an easy pass to throw that time by Brett Favre, and he threw it right over the middle perfectly.
Oh, boy, did he throw it perfect, Jim. Freeman right there to catch a football, but I'll tell you, Brett Starr is something today. And another thing that's going on right here is good pass protection. When you got all day to look downfield and go to your second, third guy, I mean, that is fine protection.
I would think some people are saying, where in the world was this offensive line during the preseason? But that's something that takes a long time to coordinate and get the same guys in there play after play.
Also, at this point in the game, the second guy should be in there. Plus, they've been rolling out a lot, Jim, and that changes the rush.
Brett apparently had him offside. Did they throw the flag? No, there's a man downfield, Chimura. Chimura trying to fight to the end zone at the 2-yard line. He stopped there. I'll tell you what, the tight ends won all the points today. Chimura got to the 2-yard line, couldn't make it to the end zone. It'll be a 1st and goal, the Packers at the 2. And another feathered pass over the middle by Brett Favre.
Boy, they have found something in the inside of that Tampa Bay defense, Jim. Like you say, he just lobs it over a linebacker, and there's nobody there. They've really got poor coverage, and that's not like a Tony Dungy coach team.
Well, they're going to mark the ball right at the 1-yard line. He almost got it into the end zone. Mark Chimera with the catch for the Packers. It'll be a 1st and goal. Keith Jackson goes wide to the left side. Dorsey Levens is in the backfield along with William Henderson on the 1st and goal play. Man in motion is Robert Brooks to the outside. Here's Brett Favre. Throws it to the right side. Levens, touchdown. Brett Favre, little rollout. Levens just came out of the backfield with a slant to the right, and a pass perfectly thrown again.
She was no contest. Well, again, on the 1 yard to go, Brett Favre just throws a little pass wide open. Mark Chimera with a nice little, I wouldn't call it a pick, but a nice little screen down there for Dorsey Levens. Opens them wide open.
So the Packers have scored 4 touchdowns passing today and have taken a very large lead.
And Tampa Bay is thinking, when is this thing over? Boy, they're toying with this Tampa Bay defense now.
Well, it won't slow down the Super Bowl talk, that's for sure today. Here's the try for the extra point. This one is up through and good, and it becomes 34-3 and a timeout. And we'll take a break. Be back after this word from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
Purchase a copier from the E.O. Johnson Company, and you'll save $350 before you even plug it in. Buy a Canon NP6020.
So far to his right to grab it deep in his end zone, and he's got it down there right there. I'll tell you what, Hendrick is getting stronger as we move along in this game with 5:28 to go. Let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Packer Radio Network.
For Cumberland, Hayward, and all of Wisconsin's great Northwest.
Comes Max. When do you call off the dogs a little bit and let some of your reserves play? Because he wants to play everybody today if he can. Dilfer back to throw. Dumps it off to the right side. It's caught by Alsop, and he breaks the tackle and gets upfield for a gain of 11 yards. My goodness, he was hit and dropped nearly at about the 20-yard line, and he just shook that off and went right on upfield and gets the first down at him.
Go ahead, Larry. I was just going to say about giving some people some rest. I think he's alternated quite a bit. However, I think in the fourth quarter you will see probably another quarterback, I would guess.
Brian Williams leaving the game right now. He was the man that failed to wrap up on Mike Alstott right there.
And he looked like he was limping a little bit. Lamont Hollenquist has come in to replace him. So it is going to be a first down at the 31. Here is Dilfer back to, after a play-action fake, back to throw. Now throws off the back foot. Tried to hit Jackie Harris. He was just off balance and really no way for him to throw that football. He wanted to throw, hesitated, and then had a lot of trouble after that. Boy, Carolina beat Atlanta 29-6 today. That'll be a major setback for the Atlanta Falcons.
Tell you what, we get a little better push inside. Reggie will be getting a couple sacks today because he's really whipping up on Doug Riesenberg. Well, we need a bigger push inside, though.
So it is going to be a second down and 10 to go at the 31. We have 4:40 remaining here in the third quarter of the first game of the regular season. Now they have one lone running back, that's Olstad, and 4 wide receivers for Tampa Bay. On a second down and 10, Dilfer on the draw, comes upfield, and that is Leroy Thompson, who was in the backfield, not Olstad, and he is wrapped up on a good open field tackle. I think it's Craig Newsom, isn't it? No, it's 41. Yeah, it's Eugene Robinson, 41, who made the tackle and brought him down after a gain out to about the 36-yard line.
They needed Eugene to come up big on that one because they blitzed Wayne Simmons, the lone linebacker, from the outside.
So now it becomes third down and 5. 34-3, the Packers have the lead. Dilfer, as the crowd starts to thin out just a little bit, goes back to pass. He's going to fire it upfield, and something happened. Somebody hit his arm,
Reggie did.
And there is a flag on the play as well.
Well, Reggie threw that offensive tackle. He may have got him at hands to the face, but he just knocked him flat backwards.
We'll see what the official is going to rule. It's against the Packers.
I think they're calling Reggie for hands to the face if you look at the replay.
Well, we'll listen to the referee, and he will tell us what the call is here on this particular play. Referee is Walt Holt.
Illegal use of the hands, defense, hands to the face, number 98. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That was Gabe Wilkins. Reggie just gave him the old heave. And when he does it, he's launching 300 pounds. It is scary what that man can do.
Yeah, Reggie did it legally, and Gabe did it illegally.
Ball is at the 41. First down for Tampa Bay. 3:59 to go here in the third quarter. Single running back and 2 wide receivers for Tampa Bay, and Dilfer straight back in the pocket. Good protection this time. Now he comes firing up over the middle, and Harper catches it down to the Packer 43-yard line in front of Doug Evans. There was a perfect example. Dilfer with a lot of time sitting back in the pocket, time to pick out his receiver, Max, and he can throw it.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you don't have anybody right in your face, and that time nobody was close.
Well, clearly the Packers have a tremendous window of opportunity in this game, and Verhalen Incorporated, your Pella window store, has a tremendous selection of windows for any window project. Pella Windows, a window for every home at a price for every pocketbook. So Tampa Bay now keeps this drive moving very well down to the Packer 43-yard line on a first down. Dilfer straight back on the drop. Here they come, and he throws it. Somebody grabbed his arm, and the ball's intercepted. Picked off by Leroy Butler. Great play. To the 30, 35, up the field to the 40. Flag thrown back to the 45. To midfield, he stumbles, falls, picks himself up, and a whistle blows. The flag is back in the backfield. Packers have an illegal block, but the penalty will not keep them from taking over the football, I don't believe.
Wow, what a great interception by Butler.
Boy,
He stuck one hand up there and knocked it up in the air and then caught it and took off. Contact lenses paying instant dividend.
I was going to say, you talk about a statement for contact lenses. There's one right there.
There's a commercial in the works somewhere there.
Well, I think the penalty occurred after the interception because the flag came well after the interception had occurred. And if that is the case, the Packers should get the ball back at about the 20-yard line. And while they decide all of this, blocking below the knees, so it'll be the Packer ball, and we're going to take a break. Back after this. This is the Packer Radio Network.
That's more like it. Yeah, that's more like it.
Do you have all the Packer merchandise you need? Didn't think so. Could you use another hat? Or maybe a starter jersey? How about a logo athletic sweatshirt? Then come to Kohl's Department Store, your headquarters for great Packer merchandise. From jackets to T-shirts, our selection is fantastic.
They trail 34-3. Favre is still in there at quarterback for the Packers. Split the two running backs, and Mark Chimera will come in motion to the right side. Here's Favre on a quick handoff. Butler trying to get the corner. Got a good outside block. Then when he tried to cut back in, he was tackled after a gain of about 2 yards. They had moved the ball back to the 15. It was Henderson who gave him the outside block, Larry, but he just didn't have that spurt to push up inside against it.
Might have been better off just to stay on Williams' hip and let that block happen for him.
Today's game brought to you by Super America, the proud sponsors of the Super America Super Kickoff Contest, where you can win $6,200. By the way, for those of you in the Milwaukee area, the Super America golf tournament's coming up in about, 2 weeks, I think it is. So if you're not enrolled, enroll. Have a good time. Here's a second down play for Brett Favre. Looks. Now he's going to run. Throws it on the run upfield. Great throw and a catch at about the 27-yard line. Ought to be a first down for Antonio Freeman. Oh, what a terrible mark. They marked the ball at the 26. He was up at the 27. He might have the first down anyway.
Should we consult Jim Palm?
Yeah, Freeman has 5 catches. No, he already gave him the first down.
Jim calls it a first.
That's 5 catches for Freeman, 5 for Keith Jackson, 3 of them for touchdowns. And let's see, Brett Favre at the moment, 18 out of 25, 217 yards. First down at the 26-yard line in their own territory, 1:50 to go in the third quarter. Brett takes a long count, hands it off to Edgar Bennett, sweep to the left. Look at the guard out in front, Taylor, and he's across the 30 to about the 33 or 34-yard line. Aaron Taylor leading the way. I don't know whether they ever got the block thrown or not, but he was certainly out in front of him in the proper form.
Him and Adam were out running, but I'll tell you what, Antonio Freeman, any yardage they got, it's Antonio's credit because he came back and made a nice crackback block.
I think he's established himself pretty well here today. You know, they've done all of this with Robert Brooks catching only 1 ball today.
Well, I think you expect your running back to get by one guy out there, and he stumbled right over him.
34-3 is the score. It is a second down and 2 yards to go. Dorsey Levens, the single running back for the Packers, on the second down play. And Dorsey on a little draw play forces his way up the field to about the 35-yard line, short of the first down by a couple of yards. Today's Packer broadcast proudly sponsored by your local Train heating and cooling dealer. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. Third and a yard, 48 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
I'll tell you, there's a train load of people getting out of here. they're exiting real quick. I don't know why they want a new stadium. They don't even hang around in this one.
You know what? It seats 76. I guess the reason is they just don't have enough revenue coming into the place, but it seemed like a good stadium to me. Third down and about 1.5 yards. Here is the handoff. The Packers looking for a running game to get a first down, and they do. Out to about the 38-yard line. Edgar Bennett just bought enough time got a block over on the right from Frank Winters, among others, and ran it out to about the 38-yard line for a first down. And that'll keep the clock running, and in fact, will take us to the end of the third quarter. The end of three quarters. It's the Packers 34, Tampa Bay 3. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
All right, football fans, who can resist the thrills?
Medical Center, Rice Lake, we're committed to your health.
Wide open, and catching the ball is Robert Brooks, and out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. And you talk about perfect execution. You're not going to get a better route run than Robert Brooks did right there.
And you won't get a better pass throw than Brett Favre, too. He throws those crowds so good. That's what happens when you got that kind of strong arm. It makes it easy.
By the way, it's the fourth quarter, and Milwaukee Pickles Packers crunch time. When it's crunch time at your house, remember, Milwaukee Pickles are the best tasting under the sun. Milwaukee Pickles, the biggest little pickle in Wisconsin, available at your favorite grocers. So it is a first down at the 45 of Tampa Bay. Here's Brett on the inside handoff. Edgar Bennett picks his way to the 40, cuts back out to the 35, inside to the 32, down to the 31. Good run by Edgar Bennett, who went right, left, and back right again.
Yeah, he made some good moves that time. Shook off a couple of guys, got a big first down. The Packers have got their offense rolling. Great vision by Edgar as well, because that time he actually left his blocking. They pulled Aaron Taylor. Edgar saw a soft spot on the backside, and he took it.
Our Bud Packer payoff contestant here in the fourth quarter is Jennifer Chikoki from Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Cichocki. Chikoki. Jennifer, you know who you are. We hope you win $620 with a long play. First down at the 30-yard line of Tampa Bay for the Packers. Here's the sweep to the right for Edgar Bennett. Bennett high-stepping a little bit to the 30. Tries to give some ground, and he's going to be locked up right at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play.
Bucks got some penetration that time from one of their first-rounders, Marcus Jones, and that seemed to slow Edgar down just enough to kind of throw the thing into,
well, you know, he was
organization.
But he was showing good patience, wasn't he? As he waited for the blocking to form out to his right side, he was just kind of marking time, and then when he tried to accelerate, there wasn't any room there for him to do that, and he is brought down at the 30-yard line where it becomes second down and 10. We have 13 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter, and the Packers safely out in front, 34-3. Over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. High formation with a wing to the right for Tampa Bay, or for the Packers. In motion to the right goes Chimera. Here is Favre. He hands this one off to Henderson. Stumbled as he tried to hit the zone. Maybe that's Edgar Bennett. Beg your pardon. Edgar. And he stumbled as he tried to take a step back inside, picks up a yard or two, and it will become a third down play for the Packers. Edgar slow in getting up, but apparently is all right. Our ball game today brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser, the gold medal winning American premium lager at the 1995 Great American Beer Festival. This Bud's for you.
You know, hats off to Aaron Taylor. Comes back from knee surgery, plays a little last week. He's gone the whole route in this heat at left guard.
Well, how about Gary Brown?
He's played well today.
Hadn't he done well? You know, and you feel really good for him. It's been a trying training camp for Gary Brown, and he's going to walk out of here in triumph today. Third down and about 8 yards to go, and Brett Favre says, I got to talk this over, and he takes a timeout. So will we. Back after this, it's the Packer Radio Network.
No matter what you're doing right now, someone at Super America is working, using over 70 years of gasoline refining experience to bring you quality gasoline.
And they fumbled a couple of times. They had the game should have been won by Detroit, but Minnesota won it.
Third down for the Packers at the 28-yard line, and they need about 8 yards. Here's Brett Favre. Quick pattern goes over to the right side. And what a nice defensive play by the linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was Monty Martz who covered that play beautifully. It was a little screen out to the right side, and it never got developed.
That was that quick screen they had some success with early in the game. That time, Dorsey Levens didn't get out there to get the kick out on Lonnie Martz, and you saw the result.
So the field goal try will be a 46-yarder by Chris Jackie. Our ball game today brought to you by State Farm Insurance and the State Farm agents throughout Wisconsin. For all your family insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, Chris has had a couple of field goals today. 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them going to Keith Jackson, 1 to Dorsey Levens, all thrown by Brett Favre. So that adds up to 34 points. Here's the ball down, and the kick is on the way by Jackie. That one floating, and it is no good off to the right. That one a 46-yarder missed by Jackie, floating and appeared just kind of lose its momentum, Max, and fly off to the right side. So we're going to take a break. Timeout. 34-3. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network. It goes up the middle, and Reggie Brooks across the 40, and a flag thrown to about the 41-yard line.
I would not be surprised. This doesn't happen very often, but I wouldn't be surprised that they got Mike Allstott, or possibly the Green Bay Packers here.
Never mind.
Holding,
Check that.
Well, holding against the Packers are an illegal use of the hands, apparently. Let's listen to the referee, Walt Crawford. They're discussing it right at the moment. Here he comes.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 55. 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
First down on a 5-yard penalty against the Packers. They haven't had many penalties today. How many, Jim? That's only the second penalty of the day against the Green Bay Packers, and both of them have been hands to the face. So that's just accident, right? Didn't do it on purpose.
Face was in the wrong spot.
Yeah, right. So blame the player who put the face in the wrong place. First down at the 47-yard line for Tampa Bay. Dilfer on a handoff to Brooks, who goes to the outside this time, up through a hole and across the 45 down to about the 44-yard line. Doug Evans on the tackle for one, and Eugene Robinson the other for the Packers.
Time Scott Adams got out and blocked Gabe Wilkins on the end there, and consequently they got a decent play.
By the way, this is pretty clear. Brett Favre knows all about winning. That's why his best drive of the year always comes from a Bergstrom dealership. Bergstrom, for the love of driving. Had a couple of pretty good drives yesterday myself.
You did? How would you shoot?
Well, I went over with Paul Pikowski at his place, and we went and played a little golf and just had a terrific time. I shot Titleist, I think, and one time I hit a max fly. Back to pass Dilfer off to the right, and the ball is almost intercepted. Bounced off the intended receiver, and Craig Newsom came flying along, tried to grab it almost like the tip drill, and just couldn't quite grab it. It was down near his shoe tops. Couldn't quite go down to get it. Incomplete forward pass. Third down, and a yard to go for Tampa Bay. 3rd and 1. Boy, he came close. You know what? He would have caught that, but the man on the ground reached up Reggie Brooks with his hand and knocked it away from him. That was a pretty good play by Reggie Brooks lying on the ground when you had the replay there. 3rd down and a yard. Here's Dilfer out of an I formation. Needs a yard here. Looks like a running play, and the handoff goes to the up man, Alstad, and he didn't get it.
Hey, boy, it's close.
Well, the way that man came in, now he's leaning a little towards downfield, but the way they came in, he is about a half a yard shy. And that's where they were going to mark it, a half a yard shy of that marker.
Well, they'll go for it. There's no reason not to.
Why not? Right. 9:58 remaining, and you trail 34-3.
They don't go for it. Tony Dungy is going to get run out of town in his first game.
Well, they're going to bring in the sticks to measure, and we'll tell you that today's game is brought to you by Simplicity. Simplicity dealers are the only place you can buy Simplicity's top-performing lawn and garden equipment, and where you can register to win a Packer-Backer tractor, which, by the way, in many places you'll see me sitting atop in a picture of that Packer-Backer tractor.
I like that Packer-Backer tractor.
That was a Packer-Backer on top of that Packer-Backer tractor.
By the way, from 10,000 feet, Jim Palm estimates they're 5 inches short.
And they are. And they are. 4th down. Well, you know, he was an old pilot. Now he's an old non-pilot. Wouldn't you love to be flying in the South Pacific with Palm as your navigator? You'd be out there joining Amelia Earhart somewhere.
I'd rather be alone.
4th down and a yard.
I'll take my chances alone.
Everybody in tight. Here's the drive and a handoff. And the first down for Reggie Brooks. Boy, he almost broke the line of scrimmage. If he gets past that last man over on the left side, he might have scored. But a pretty good surge by the left side of the line behind Paul Gruber for Tampa Bay for the first down.
A real good surge.
Yes, to the 38-yard line. First down for the Buccaneers. Reggie Brooks on the run. 9 minutes and 10 seconds and the clock running. We'll give you all of those other scores in a couple of moments. Indianapolis showed some real promise last week and followed it up today, beating Arizona 20-10. Vince Tobin is the head coach of Arizona this year. Dilfer takes out of the pocket, now throws on the run. He's got a man open downfield, incomplete. And they're going to call face guarding, I think, against Eugene Robinson, or they might call it on Jackie Harris, who came back to the ball through Robinson. And look at this. I don't blame Robinson for being in the face of that official, because Robinson looked like he was doing nothing wrong on the play, and I think he's been called for the penalty. He has been. Robinson and the official talking to each other, and Eugene, while they're getting along well, still didn't believe the call. Ball hung up a little bit on Trent Dilfer, so they'll have a first down at about the 15-yard line.
If Robinson would have turned around, they wouldn't have called it, Jim. But if you notice here, he is right in his face.
Well, let's watch and see what happens here. Well, Robinson is trying to get back to it, and his feet just slipped. He was standing in front of him.
That wasn't too much of a call there.
Yeah, it sure wasn't. He was actually in a position, if he could have gotten his feet squared away, to intercept it.
It's the Bucs' most effective offensive weapon, though.
First down at the 15-yard line. Jackie Harris will go in motion to the outside on the first down play for Trent Dilfer. Dilfer waits, comes up over the middle, intercepted, picked off. And that's
Leroy.
Butler back to the 20. Butler to the outside to the 30. Butler still on his feet to the 40, to the outside left. He's back to the 50, the 45-yard line. To the 50.
He's out again.
He said, I got to get out of here. And he runs out of bounds. Out away, Leroy. He runs out at the 46 and said, you got to be kidding me. I got to run this far.
I'll tell you, I've never seen a defensive back that could run around too long. They're so used to running backwards, they never get in shape to run a long way frontwards.
Third pickoff of the day by the Packers in the Pick and Save Packer pickoff. That means another $100 contribution to the MAC Fund from Pick and Save. We'll take a break. Timeout. The Packers stop the drive. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network. Turnovers today by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Leroy Butler with 2 interceptions. I'll tell you what, that soft lens, I'm going to write a commercial for that. It works. McMahon on his first play as a Green Bay Packer in this ball game gives it off to Jervy. Travis across the 45 down to about the 44-yard line, and a gain of about 5 yards on the play.
Substitution up front, Bruce Wilkerson in at right tackle and doing a nice job out there.
Well, for Packers coverage that scores every time, don't miss sports commentary by Journal Sentinel writers Bob McGinn and Spoon. You know who Spoon is? Tom Silverstein. Spoon, that's what his nickname is. So watch for Spoon stuff in the Journal Sentinel. Second down at about 4. 8 minutes and 6 seconds to go here in the ball game's fourth quarter, 34-3. The Packers got off early to a 10-0 lead and really have been in control since the opening minute. Here's Jim McMahon taking a lot of time. Got nowhere to go but home after today. Jervy is in motion to the right. Here's the quick pitch. This goes to Henderson, trying to get the corner. Does. To the 40, inside the 40 to about the 38. And a first down before he's rolled down by Marcus Jones. 6'6" rookie out of North Carolina, 280-pounder.
Broke Lawrence Taylor's sack record at North Carolina.
Did he really? Well, he's got a long way to go to break any of Lawrence's records in the NFL.
Different story up here. Yeah. Tell you what, old Wilkerson did a nice job again.
So it's first down at the 38-yard line. 7:21. The clock is running. Jim McMahon takes his time in the huddle.
Yeah, they're just walking up there, watching that clock run.
Got to play it. Well, I noticed Winters got over the ball a little quicker that time. Is Winters still in at center?
I believe so.
We'll check it out for you on this next play. Centers never get a break. Here's Jervy. Look, a big hole.
Holding.
Well, there's a reason, apparently. There was a big hole because the flag is thrown right in the hole where Jervy spurted through for about 12 yards.
And I think they might have got Big Frank.
Sorry, Frank. Didn't mean to point you out all of a sudden.
He pinned Marcus Jones on his back.
Well, by the way, when this game is over, you can still see the best 2-minute drill in town. Simply pull into your local McDonald's drive-thru and call the signal. In no time flat, you can have a delicious Big Mac or a mouth-watering quarter pounder with cheese. Jim, what's the total rushing yardage today for the Packers? He'll figure that out. He's lightning quick, folks. He is just bursting with energy over there.
Navigating through those rushing statistics right now.
We'll get it to you in the mail.
How many? 123 yards rushing for the Packers. They're all the way back, however, to the spot where they started. So it is 1st and 20. McMahon splits the backfield wide. Here's Jim. They're going to sweep it to the left, trying to get around the corner, and did not find much running room. That Satterfield looked like he would come in there. No, it's Jervy. Beg your pardon again. It's Jervy still in there.
You know, McCann's thinking, gosh, I wish they'd let me throw a pass.
Yeah, right.
I'd like to throw a pass.
I do want to throw this thing downfield.
He's got all the practice of taking snaps he needs.
I'll tell you what, Levens and Freeman came in. I think he's going to throw this one.
Well,
second down and
1,000. I hope he throws
22 yards. Second and 22. Splitting wide right is Desmond Howard. Don Beebe to the left, and the slot on the left is Freeman. Tight end is Keith Jackson. Waiting is Jim McMahon. Here's McMahon. Now he's going to run it to Levens. Trying to get a block on the outside. Cut inside one man. Across the 45 down to about the 43. And the clock runs at 5:42 remaining.
Packers pulling Aaron Taylor on there. Decent block by him, but Dorsey took it where he was blocking the guy.
Well, you know, here's where you got to you have to look at what Mike Holmgren wants to do and is really doing here. Tony Dungy is a friend of his. Tony Dungy's coaching his very first game as a head coach. And Mike Holmgren says, I've got enough.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it, Jim. And Dungy's got to go back enough, too. He's got enough to think about tomorrow and what in the world happened to this football team. He needs a month before their next game.
It's going to be a third down and long, about 13, 14 yards for the Packers. Here's McMahon. He's going to throw one. McMahon looking, fires the ball upfield, and it's tipped. And Thomason catches the deflection, I believe, at the 18-yard line for a first down.
That was Thomason. What a catch.
Yes, Thomason on a deflected football catches it down around the 18. This is our day, right?
It is. And I'll tell you what, McMahon, he figures out a way to get it done. That was a really ugly throw, but he figures out a way to get it done.
It's the defender tips it right there. Otherwise, it would have been a perfect throw. If this defender doesn't tip, I think it would have been right in his arms.
It was doing a whirly bird coming.
Yeah, but it would have been right in his arms. Right, Max?
I'm not sure
Back me up on this if you want any more airtime.
I'm not sure he warmed up before he came in.
Ball is at 19, first down. First and 10 with 4:17 remaining, 19-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. High formation. McMahon sends Thomason in motion to the right and hands it up the middle. Look at Jervy go. Lost the ball. Tampa Bay has recovered. Ball went flying in the air, and it came right into the hands of a defender and stops the play right at about the 17, and Travis won't like that at all.
Neither will Mike Holmgren.
No, he won't. We're going to get a timeout on the field. We'll take a break. Back after this from your local station. This is the Packer Radio Network.
Add light and lift to any room with a Vetter bow or angle bay window from Luck.
It's a first down for Tampa Bay. And it is still Trent Dilfer as the quarterback, and he fires it off to the right side. Not a well-thrown pass, but caught by Dave Moore, the tight end, and he's out of bounds. Coverage was a little late in getting there by Ty Williams. That was the ball that was floating over there and could have been picked off. So it is going to be a gain on the play out to about the 22-yard line, gain of 5. Second hour, 3:58 remaining in the ball game, 34-3 the Packers. A week from tomorrow night, the Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles, and our broadcast begins at 6 o'clock.
You know, talking about Brett Favre, he can make a defense look so inept. When he has protection and people execute around him, they look inept around him.
Dilfer back to throw again, and double pumps it, and a great catch. No, Harris can't hold on. Ball thrown high, and then maybe that's Dilfer's biggest problem right there, Max. Here was Jackie Harris wide open out in the left flat, and Dilfer just overthrew it.
Yeah, he just missed him. Totally missed him, and that's something you don't see Brett Favre do anymore. When somebody's open, he hits them.
So it is going to be third down for Tampa Bay. Let me give all of those scores again, Jim, if I can. We'll discuss some of them as the game goes along. I think the Houston-Kansas City game was interesting. Kansas City rallying back to win 20-19 down at Houston.
End of discussion.
Thanks for joining in, guys. They kind of brought that one along nicely. Here's the first down pass, and it is
another interception.
On a deflection by the Packers and out of bounds goes Ron Cox with his first.
Lamont Hollenquist.
Oh, it's Hollenquist, 66. 66 gets the pass reception. And look at Alvin Harper. I think he was manhandled on the play. Hollenquist with another pick-and-save pickoff, and money for the Packers and money for the Mac Fund. Wow. That's
Boy,
what
Tony Dungy, every nightmare thought he had about his first game as a head coach in the NFL is coming true.
Well, 4 interceptions for Trent Dilfer. That's a remarkably bad play.
He's consistent. He's off to the same kind of year he had last year.
Let's see the other scores that were of interest. St. Louis was down to Cincinnati with Jeff Blake, and you really think Cincinnati had that game in control, but St. Louis came back and won it 26-16. They were down 16-7 in the contest. Carolina romps over Atlanta 29-6. I kind of like that coach down in Carolina. Yeah, Don Capers can coach. So it's a first down for Jim McMahon and his team at about the 29-yard line with 3:41 left in the game. Single running back for the Packers on this first down play. And guess who got it? Jervy, the running back, is across the 25 and down inside the 25 to the 22. And Travis is running well if he can hold on to the ball.
Boy, Aaron Taylor really playing well. It's great to have him back.
So it is going to be a second down. If you depend upon your car to perform, depend on 76 gasolines to keep it a performance car. Ball's at the 22, second down and 3. Palm is writing me notes down.
Well, the Packers are in no hurry to get to the line of scrimmage.
You know what? They talked about having 65,000 here, then they revised it downward to 60, and it wound up at 55,000 today. So it was not a big turnout for Tampa Bay. Here's the handoff to Jervy, trying to find the whole ball, and they lost it again. Travis loses the ball, and Tampa Bay has picked it up at about the 22-yard line. That is just a pretty sad state for Travis Jervy. So it'll be Tampa Bay's ball.
That will not be looked upon very well by the coaching staff. Get him for a little bit and fumble twice. That's bad news for Travis.
Today's game brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm, proudly serving America's heartland with 28 store locations. 28 store locations throughout Wisconsin, Minnesota, and North Dakota.
Jim, I wanted to ask you, how did Miami do?
Miami,
they won.
We don't have a final score yet. What happened to my final score?
There was 4 minutes to go, but that score remains okay. 24-10 is the score. Say what you want about Jimmy Johnson, but that guy can coach. Yep. New England's a pretty good football team.
Ball is at the 23-yard line. Not a good day for Bill Parcells. First down, Tampa Bay. 2:48 remaining. See, the difference here is Dilfer's thrown 4 interceptions and Favre threw 4 touchdowns. And here's Dilfer in trouble and sacked. And he is sacked back at about the 17-yard line, and that is the sack for Mac. Money to the Mac Fund, compliments of Budweiser beer, and I don't know who will get credit for it.
You know, I don't know what Dilfer's thinking about. He has Leroy Thompson wide open. I mean, sure, they're not going to get anything deep. The Packers are dropping deep, but he has him wide open and doesn't get the ball to him.
2:31 left. Back goes Dilfer again to throw the ball. Comes to the sideline this time, and cutting on the ball is Greg Newsome. And Newsome just couldn't quite get his feet there. It was intended for Carl Williams, and Newsome had a beat on it, but he had given a little too much ground and couldn't quite recover to get back.
I'll tell you,
knocks it away.
This is the defense's back dream right now, because all they do is run around and look for interceptions. The game is basically over, and they can take all kind of chances.
But you know what you like, and we've seen this in a whole preseason all along, Newsome's instinctive moves on the football.
Craig was about an inch from having a couple picks today of his own.
Right, he was.
He's had his hands on a lot of balls.
3rd and long, about 15 for Tampa Bay, with 2:24 remaining in the ball game. Straight back. And standing there is Dilfer, now running to the right. Wants to unload, does, upfield, and the closest he came was to a Packer defender at the 29. I'll tell you what, Dilfer has had a horrible day today. Closest to the ball was Hollingworth, I think.
Well, the people finally decided to let loose on Dilfer. You know, they were ripping him in the paper after last week's game. 5 for 15, but no intercepts, no touchdowns. You imagine what's going to happen. They're going to crucify him around here this week.
13 out of 31. So back to do the kicking is Tommy Barnhart with 2:17 remaining. The Packer fans are having a big time. They're the only ones left. Good snapper, Barnhart. No real rush, and he gets a low returnable ball. This is Desmond Howard at the 41. Howard looks to the right. Now cuts up between 2 defenders. Gets to the 45. Goes to the outside to midfield. Down to the 45 and steps out of bounds at about the 43. Got a late shove, but he's out at the 43 and a nice return by Desmond Howard. 2 minutes remaining. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Ready to win a year's supply of gasoline from Quick Trip? I'm ready. First, pick up your Quick Scorecard each week at any Wisconsin Quick Trip store.
Apparently nobody wants to get started too quick, but you see a couple of happy fellows on the screen if you're watching on television. Leroy Butler and Reggie White. Are they posing for pictures or what? Eugene says, get me in there. Okay.
He says, nobody's ever seen me.
Yeah, I play with the team now, too. First down at the 43 for Jim McMahon. McMahon on the handoff, straight ahead to dive to about the 40-yard line. Is Travis still in there or not? Travis has fumbled the last 2 drives by the Packers. The ball at the 40. Nobody wants to get up very quickly. It's 30-second timeout. This is the Packer Radio Network.
Don the Muffler, 30 South Main in Rice Lake.
Here's the handoff to Dorsey Levin. Somebody blow the whistle? Is that what happened?
Probably too much time.
Dorsey was running off to the right side, and suddenly he just stopped dead in his tracks, and we're so far up here, it took about 10 seconds for the sound to get here if it was a whistle.
Looks like they were playing red light, green light.
Illegal procedure on the part of the Packers is the call. Red light, green light?
You know, where you ran up to the guy and stopped?
No. We never played that. Did you play that? Red light, green light?
Oh, no. We play just red light.
Ball at the 45. Second down and 12 yards to go for the Packers with 1:12 remaining. That stopped the clock. That was the last thing you wanted to have happen.
That was red
the
light.
Clock to stop. Yeah, it was red light.
Now it's green light. See, here we go.
All right, second down and 12. McMahon has 2 men in the backfield now waiting for the handoff, and this one goes to Levens, and Levens is jammed right at the line of scrimmage. The man who made the tackle is Marcus Jones.
Dorsey saying, hey, guys, don't end the game 3 or 4 plays early on my account.
See, is Gary Brown still in there? I'm looking to see if Gary is out there.
Yes, he is.
We got a player getting up very slowly on the far side of the field.
He's not getting up.
Well, trying to get up. They take a timeout by the Packers. We'll stay right here and tell you that quality, great selection, and the lowest overall prices. The reasons you should make Pick and Save your one and only food store. For the best overall value, shop Pick and Save. When it comes to price, they're still talking low. How about a nice hand gang for Richard Delaney, our engineer today, who knew to pick up his tickets and show up on time. Jim McMahon, single running back, 3 wide receivers. Is he going to throw it? No, he's not. He's going to hand it off. And trying to find a way is Dorsey Levens. He's knocked down at the 42, and 50 seconds remain. And you have to stop it in 7 seconds before the end of the game. So you don't want to kick it. We don't have to do this, guys. They're going to bring the kicking team in. But you don't really have to kick it. You could just stand back there. Hendrick can do this. He can stand back there and watch and run around and watch the clock run out, basically. Or just kick it down there.
And he's going to get hit.
Yeah, well, you may not want to do that.
They could do that if they're near the end zone.
Well, he may not want to hurt his average. He can only get a 42-yard kick.
So if he drives it out of the end zone, I think the clock will run out anyway.
Packer fans have taken over the stadium.
He's got 8 seconds left on the clock when he has to kick it. There's the kick, and he does kick it. Now, hang-on ball. We're down to 7. They're not going to be able to stop the clock, I don't think. It goes into the end zone with 3 seconds. 2. It went down to 2, and Tampa Bay will have to put it in play with 2 seconds. That was bad. That was a poorly timed play by the Packers.
Why don't Tampa Bay kneel on it?
Well, that's maybe what they do. Dilfer will come out with the 4 interceptions. Just hadn't been a good day for him at all.
No, I think the time for miracle comebacks is long past.
Be gone. 34-3. One of the things that will happen is the Packers will be tied for first place in the Central Division with the Minnesota Vikings, who won today in a divisional game, as the Packers did. So those are all key statistics. We'll wait for the staff for Trent Dilfer on the final play of the game, 34-3. The Packers have had a wonderful day. Here's Dilfer. Now they're going to run it. And Reggie Brooks stumbled, and the game ends right there. The final tackle is made, and the game is over, and the Packers will walk off a winner in the ball game by a final of 34-3. Back in a minute after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Here's the world-famous explorer going up the Amazon in search of the unknown.
Fred, what?
Team, as we mentioned, brilliant in their opening game. Everybody has respect for Tony Dungy. Big victory for the Packers in impressive fashion. They blow out the Buccaneers 34-3. We'll be back.
Is Tony Dungy, new coach of Tampa Bay, Brett Favre. Well, Tampa beat Green Bay down to this field last year. Early 3-0 Green Bay. Nilo Sylvan deep in his end zone. He gets run out of bounds by the entire Packer team. Tony Dungy says, you got to use your head there, young man. The Buccaneers with poor field position, and you do not want this to happen. Reggie White recovers the fumble of Jerry Ellison, and Brett Favre takes over. 1st and 10 at the 28. You can't shorten the field for them. Dorsey Levens. It's a fumble, but Antonio Freeman is there to bring it all the way down to the 1. Next play. He's there all year, and watch the stats he's going to have. Let me tell you about Keith Jackson. 10-0 for the Packers.
Yeah, and you watch this run here by Edgar Bennett. He's going to fall down, get up, reverse field, but look at Brett Favre. Spot shadow right there, throws a great block and causes that big game. That's what builds a champion, your quarterback willing to do whatever he has to win football games.
Well, this is more the way they diagram it for a quarterback to do it. Back to passes, Favre. There he is, Wardenetta, Kit Jackson. 2nd touchdown. It's 17-3, the Packers. Under a minute to go in the first half. Favre, he scrambles, buys time. Keith Jackson, he could go all the way. He's going to like it up there all year. 3 touchdowns from Favre to Jackson, 24-3.
Key to this play is that Brett Favre keeps his head up as he's moving through the pocket, unlike some quarterbacks who don't see where they're throwing.
Jackson, 4 catches for 71 yards, 3 TDs, all in the first half. Tony Dungy not pleased. Why? Well, his offense going nowhere, and he knows that's what the changes he's going to have to make. Favre to the other tight end, Mark Shimura. Chewy down to the 1. Next play, Dorsey Levens. Touchdown from Favre. And the Packers make no mistake today, going on to roll the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the count of
Mother Nature provided a little dousing before the game, and the Packers did the same during it. They set the tone on Tampa Bay's opening drive when Trent Dilfer's pass was tipped off of Alvin Harper's hands and into Mike Pryor's. That was the first of 6 turnovers for the Pack today, 4 interceptions and 2 recovered fumbles.
We came out and we did what we were supposed to do, and that's something we're going to have to keep doing throughout the year. You know, I think all around we played well together, and that's, you know, this is just the beginning of it.
The Packers built a 24-3 halftime lead thanks to 3 touchdowns from Brett Favre to Keith Jackson. Jackson becomes the first Packer to have 3 scores in a game since Sterling Sharp in 1994. The final blow came right before the half. Favre scrambles and hits Jackson for a 51-yard strike. The Packers had 267 yards passing today and 406 net yards overall.
You know, we'll take it. This is the first time I think we've opened up this well on offense. Defensively, you know, we got turnovers. It was just an all-around good game.
The second half saw more disaster for the Buccaneers. The Packers stopped to a 34-3 victory to open the season in style.
And I think our guys today played well. So I would have been more surprised if we hadn't played well.
Even before the game was over, this stadium had really emptied out, except for one section, the one with all the cheese heads in it. This was very well attended by Green Bay Packer fans, and they were thoroughly enjoying this bold statement that the Packers made to start the 1996 season. In Tampa Bay, Jesse Garcia, today's TMJ4 Sports.
From Green Bay, it's the Mike Holmgren Show. And now, here are your hosts, Coach Mike Holmgren and Kevin Hunt.
Yeah, welcome to the Mike Holmgren Show. We got a great crowd, and you know, the crowd is befitting this first win, Coach. I think a lot of people think this has set the tone for the season.
Well, you know what, Kevin, I hope it has. Well, we have to remember now, it's the first game. We played very well in the first game, but it's just the first game. You know, all season long, I'll be referring to it as a marathon, not a sprint. And it's important now that we enjoy this win, certainly, but now we're able to put things in perspective and get ready for the next opponent. And you don't have much time to enjoy the win, but we're going to enjoy it.
How important do you think this was for Brett Favre? There had been so much going on in the offseason, and he really lit it up.
Well, I was so proud of him, really, and happy for him, because he has been through it. Now, to say it's not on his mind or what's happened in the offseason, he has been able to push it. I don't think that's honest, and I don't think he's a human being. But he did focus in on preparing. He played very well, and he's the leader of this football team, and the players look to him for that, and he did that.
You know, you might say that 6 turnovers was just unusual for one game, but you had 8 in the preseason, and things keep rolling along. It took you 7 games to do that last year to get 6.
Someone brought that up right in the press conference after the game. I didn't know that, but I know last year was an unusual year. And that usually doesn't happen. Usually they just come kind of naturally. A tip ball or something happens. Now to get 6 a game, that's really something. And that obviously was a big story in that football game. And if we can keep doing that, it'd be wonderful. Now we're going to have to play games at times where we don't get any turnovers and still win the football game.
Now, Coach, let's look at one of them. Let's start the highlights, because right out of the bat, the Buccaneers' first possession, Dilfer to Harper. Craig Newsom's covering. The ball pops out, and Pryor is there for the intercept.
Well, that's what we have to have. Obviously, Mike got a few yards after the catch, and Alvin, you know, if it tip balls, that's when you get your interception.
And that leads to a field goal. Next Buccaneers possession, Brian Williams really stuffs the hole here, and Ellison runs into the line and fumbles, and Reggie recovers.
Well, Brian Williams, again, is a great story of training camp, because he came in, earned that starting outside linebacker position, and that will help us this season.
You're going to turn that into points. You're driving. Dorsey Levens, the ball pops out, though, and Antonio Freeman's there.
Well, you know, when things like that happen, I remember Sherman Lewis in my ear goes, "It's our day, it's our day," you know, because that was a little luck involved there.
Boy, and Favre to Keith Jackson just sitting there all alone.
Well, we worked hard on that play. We thought we knew how they would cover it, and that was an easy one for Keith right there.
And this one's pretty interesting, Coach. Edgar Bennett taking it right is going to cut back, and Brett Favre's out there leading the way.
Well, he makes a great block right there, and you know, he's very good at that. He likes to do that. I'd like to tell him to be careful, but he plays the game the way the game should be played.
Are you worried about a situation like that, or can you really tell him, hey, don't do that?
Well, I've told him that before.
Yeah, of course.
But he's going to play the game the way the game should be played. And as long as he stays down low on blocks like that, then he's okay.
Coach, I think people are pretty excited about what can happen with Chimera and Keith Jackson in there. What kind of options do you have now that you didn't have last year?
Well, I think with Keith coming into camp on time and in shape now, obviously we can play both of them right away in the combinations that we had envisioned. But more than that, the fact that they're great players and all that, Kevin, I want to say that they're so unselfish, both those guys. They both would like the ball every play. They both want to catch 60, 70, 80 passes. They both want to score touchdowns, but they have managed to work out this thing with one another to help the team. And I think that's the great thing about those two guys.
All right, Coach, let's look at the last couple minutes of that first half, because it was kind of amazing. You don't see this called too often. On the field goal attempt, defensive holding called, and boy, that hurt the Buccaneers.
Well, what had happened, they had done that the 2 previous plays, and I told the official, I said, would you please watch for this, because you can't pull. They were pulling one of the guys and opening up a lane, and so they called it.
And that opens up this, the 4-yard touchdown to Jackson.
Again, in the red zone, I have a lot of confidence in our red zone passing game and in our red zone attack, and it's tough to stop with the weapons we have.
Then with just a minute 40 left in the half, you guys get the ball back, and Favre to Jackson, 51 yards.
Well, we had 2 plays called in the huddle, and I thought we could get a couple hits and then maybe kick a field goal. But on the first one, you know, either they blew a coverage or you know, reacted to Brett and allowed Keith to get wide open.
Now, Coach, you said you talked to the referees about that holding. Now, how often do they listen to you? Does that work very often if you ride them a little bit?
Well, if I do it in a nice way, if I say, please, Mr. Official, would you please watch this, because I think they're doing this. And actually, Neely Dunn, who was the guy on our sideline, I said, would you talk to the umpire who's on the other side? They're doing this. And normally, they talk to one another. They do that. And then if it happened again, so it worked out well for us.
Let's go right into the tape of the second half, because things start clicking on the turnovers. Trent Dilford, Alvin Harper. Craig Newsom's going to strip the ball, and Doug Evans recover.
See, now, Alvin is their go-to guy, and he's a great receiver, and that's 2 turnovers on balls thrown to him, and it can't happen for them, and it has to happen for us. That was a great play by Craig.
Hey, you start driving again. Favre to Antonio Freeman for 20.
Well, we attacked the middle. They were kind of overplaying the outside at times, and Brett saw it, and then the free got open down the chute.
Keith Jackson had the touchdowns, but Mark Chimera was in there. This was a big play down to the 1.
Well, I was hoping, and a big, strong guy like Mark, he should get in there, you know. But I was hoping, it would have been nice for him to get the touchdown, really. He had a good game.
Well, he doesn't get the 6, but Dorsey Levens does on this short touchdown pass.
Well, Dorsey is an excellent pass receiver, and he's one of the guys, too, that his role has changed just a little bit. And he has to approach this season in an unselfish way, and so far he has.
You know, at the end of last season, Leroy Butler had dropped a couple interceptions, dropped one in preseason, got some contacts, I guess, and boy, the guy is 2 big picks. How much is this contact thing, Coach?
Well, you know, he got contacts, but he fell down there. Actually, that was a spectacular catch and run, and he is capable of this. He is really a fine player, and when he starts out the season this way, that's what he did when he went to the Pro Bowl, and I'm expecting him a possible Pro Bowl year again.
What are you guys doing differently with him on defense that might lead to that?
Well, I'm not sure that Fritz is changing a lot of things. Leroy, just when the ball gets in your hands, you have to make that play. I think last season in the turnovers, you know, we had a lot of balls that hit our hands and we dropped. Now you have to make that play. And then I'm having the whole team get contacts, too, this week.
You know, some people in the crowd have mentioned the last couple of weeks, it seems every time they take a camera cutaway of you, it's after a bad Packer play and you're mad. But, you know, this time you were happy. They were taking happy coach cutaways.
Oh, happy coach cutaways?
Yeah, it was nice to see.
I had, it was the debut of my new glasses, you know.
Yeah.
And it was rainy and I couldn't see through them, and so I was just doing everything I could to read my sheet.
All right, Coach, when we come back, defensive tackle Santana Dotson joins us. But first, the Clements Packer moments.
I'd have to be getting in the playoffs and playing last year in the San Francisco game. I definitely won't forget that one, just because it was a bigger game and started the game, and we ended up winning. It was a great game and great feeling.
The Mike Holmgren Show is brought to you by 7-Up.
It's 4 seasons with the Pack signed him as a free agent to bolster their pass rush, and all signs point to the positive in this acquisition. Welcome Santana Dotson to the show. Santana, it's great to have you in town. I think you were kind of surprised when you were down there because you were a very popular figure in Tampa, but you got a few boos. What's up there?
I don't know. You know, I was excited about getting back to Tampa and, you know, seeing a lot of folks that I hadn't seen in a while, and once I got out there, you know, I made the first tackle, and there was a few little murmurs like, oh, okay, he's all right. Then after 2 or 3 down the line, I just got the full out-and-out boo. So I guess the divorce is final.
Boy, a lot of things can happen to a player when they get pegged a certain way. I know some players get pegged injury-prone. Something came out about you about not playing the run defense, but that sure hasn't seemed the situation. Were you angry that people talked about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, that's something you don't worry about. I mean, because a coach told me a long time ago that the run is pretty much the easiest part of the game for a defensive lineman. You know, the pass rush is pretty much art. Every player does it different. Every player along that line for Green Bay does it different. So, you know, if I know I can play the run, I wasn't worried about it. And I knew the main thing getting here is having all the players and coaches have the confidence in me that I could do so.
What's your best moves, or do you practice any new ones once in a while, or do you got some down?
I'm trying to get that Reggie Club down. That's a Hall of Fame move, so if he can give me the secret to that, I think I'll be all right for a while.
Coach, when you were looking at free agents, why did Santana jump out at you?
Well, first of all, all the havoc he had wreaked against me as a player for Tampa, really, he had marvelous games against us, and we really needed an inside pass rusher. We have good players inside, but someone who can really pressure the quarterback inside, and so he was a very logical, clear-cut choice. And then he's really a good run player, you know, and that was a bad rap, and fortunately, he decided to come with us, and I want him to be happy up here. He's a good player for us.
Santana, I know the coach probably remembers this game. I remember when Brett Favre first came in as a Packer, sub for Don Majkowski, and you guys cleaned his clock. Do you remember that game very well?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think the main thing, I don't like scramblers a lot. You know, quarterbacks that scramble. So if you're a scrambler, I'm gonna try to put all the force I can on you when I hit you. And I think Brett got caught up in one of those situations. But there's no blood loss or anything like that.
You know, I think one of the most shocking things is that you, Reggie White, and Sean Jones all have the same birthday, December 19th.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you guys all on the defensive line share the same birthday?
Once I signed, I think the front office told me. So I don't know. I think it's the day that all great defensive linemen were born.
Are you guys going to have a party together? Big party at Reggie's house?
Yeah.
Learn that club move?
Yeah.
Now, your dad was originally drafted by the Packers, which is another interesting story. Does he talk to you much about it? He actually chose to go to the AFL and the Chiefs then instead of play for the Packers. Does he ever regret that decision?
Well, no, not really. I mean, we talked about it sparingly after I signed, really, and he just said that was when they had the 2 drafts, AFL, NFL, and he said for whatever reason he decided to go with KC and, you know, didn't look back. So, but, you know, that was pretty much all he said about it.
You know, you got to do a lot of radio and television in Tampa. Do you like that side of it? Can we see Santana Dotson, sportscaster, when
that's the
career
fun part
is over?
of it. Yeah, that's the fun part of the job I do. So, you know, maybe me and Mike can get a little show together.
Well, he said then he's already got a show. So,
I'm trying to squeeze in here. So.
The Mike Holmgren and Santana Dotson show. It's got a nice ring to it. Coach, you don't want him squeezing you out yet, huh?
Well, you know what? Sean Jones would be in my office. Reggie White would be in my office. They'd all be in there.
Santana, just the differences of coming here. It must have been tough playing for a losing team year after year. What immediately struck you coming up here as the differences of the team makeup?
I think the attitude. I think that's what really struck me when I made the trip up here back in March. I mean, the attitude from everybody from the front office to the janitor. You know, the expectations are high, and even back then, you know, they were talking about doing good things in the upcoming season and all that stuff. So I think when you have high expectations, that makes the expectations for everybody else, practice, you know, every aspect of the game, you know, that much more.
Do the janitors clean better up here than they did in Tampa?
They really do.
All right. Santana, thanks for joining us, and continued success. It's great having you in a Packer uniform. All right. We come back on the Mike Holmgren Show. We're going to check out Robert Brooks' new single next on the Mike Holmgren Show.
The Mike Holmgren.
Up and down Lombardy Street. Hey, let's do the Lambo Leap.
That song was put together by Todd Hanneman of Kenosha. It's kind of his salute to Robert Brooks leaps into the stands, but Robert has done him one better. He produced his own record on his own label, and Jesse Garcia has more in this Carrier Packer Insider.
You know, the song Jump in the Stands is just a feel-good song. It's to make you feel good about being a Packer player, a fan, or anything to do with the Packers.
Robert Brooks' hobby is music. He even has his own recording label, Shoe In for Life Productions. And from his well-equipped basement studio, Brooks crafted his first single, which has just been released. Take a listen to Brooks singing Jump in the Stands.
There's a special bond between the players and fans. You see, from now on, I'm gonna show them much love. Every time I score, I'm going to give me a hug from a Packer fan. The best in the land. I'ma never stop jumping in the stands, my man. Make you.
Actually, it was another song, and my buddy Eric just said, hey, man, you need to do a Packer song. He said, I think the music for this song, you know, sounds good. And then so we started thinking, you know, and throwing it around, and I came up with the melody, you know, jumping in the stands, and kind of just fit. And it was like a perfect fit. It was like it was made, you know, it was meant to be or something. So.
You happy with the way it turned out?
Yeah, very happy. I mean, I've heard the song a billion times. I mean, over and over. I've mixed it myself, you know, and, you know, I started it from scratch, and I still love it. It's still my favorite song.
But we do it for the fans, we fans. Hate it when we jump in the stands. Every man can't be a Packer fan. Make you jump.
Yeah, I think it's a, you know, a real nice song, and I think it's a tribute to, you know, this football team, this organization, and the fans, and you know, I don't think he could have made a better song.
Fans sitting in the first few rows of the stands are thrilled when Brooks takes his flying leap right up into them, but actually Leroy Butler deserves some credit for this song too. He started the whole phenomenon.
I want my cut too. I want my percentage. Yeah, I've heard it. I love it. It's going to put Green Bay on the map, and I think a lot of people need to know that, you know, we do things like that. You know, it's just not the big cities. We do things like that, and it's great.
And as payment, Butler says he'll settle for dinner a la Brooks. Leroy may be the originator of the jump, but it's Robert's business mind that got the single released. He graduated from the University of South Carolina with a business degree.
I just kind of like the excitement and the competition of business. It's kind of like the same deal you have with playing professional sports. You know, you are the product, and you have to put your product out there on the market every week.
Now, to make the song reflect reality, there's one thing that Brooks and the other Packers must do this season.
Oh, yeah. I got to still get in the stands a whole lot this year, and that'll make it even that much better.
For the Mike Holmgren Show, I'm Jesse Garcia.
Thanks a lot, Jesse. Coach, obviously it's a lot of fun for fans and the players. What are your impressions of Robert's song?
Well, I think it's great. And, you know, he's a talented man, and he has his music company, and this is just a start because it's kind of a fun thing to do, but he does a lot of things in the music world right now.
All right, Coach. Julie's got a question for you.
How do you decide what adjustments to make at halftime?
Julie, that's a good question. We don't have a lot of time at halftime. We have 12 minutes to get it done. So as soon as we get into the locker room, the offense and defense split up. I kind of leave them be, and then they make their corrections, come together. The offensive staff tells me what they've done, the defensive guys, and then I talk right at the end for about 30 seconds to the team, and then we have to run back out on the field.
Hey, thanks a lot, Julie. Jim, come on up here.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Jim.
Congratulations on a convincing victory yesterday.
Thank you.
It's a start of many. My question is, yesterday there were some, well, actually the left side of the line did play rather well, but my question to you is, what is your plan in the future of the season when we get up against a tougher opponent? I know you've got John Michaels on injured reserve. Well, he's not on injured reserve, but he's recuperating from his ankle. But what is the plan?
Well, I think, you know, those are our linemen. And with Gary Brown is still not 100% recovered. Michaels is hurt. Aaron Taylor's a little rusty because he's just coming back. And then we have Adam Timmerman at right guard, who is new this year as a starter. As the season goes along, they will knit and get better and better and better. That's what offensive lines do. I have a lot of confidence in those guys, and they will play well. I don't care who we play.
Thanks a lot, Jim. All right, when we come back, Monday Night Football returns to Lambeau Field next. Prolific offensive attack. Coach, not only do you have Ray Rhodes, but also John Gruden, who coached the receivers, and he's running the offense there. Two guys that know you, you know them. How's that unique and how you prepare this week?
Well, it's going to be a heck of a game. You know, it's not unlike when we went back to play the 49ers. and we felt we knew them pretty well. They know us obviously very well. But the game will be decided by the players on the field. And I have, you know, John Gruden, of course, you know, I was the first one to hire him with San Francisco, and he's done a great job for them. And Ray is a good friend and was Coach of the Year last year. So I always knew he'd be a fine head coach. I miss them both, but I'm very happy for them, too.
Coach, let's quickly get to the Monday night game. And the Packer wives have a food drive every year. And this Monday night, they're going to be out collecting in the parking lots. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, it's for the donations of food and money goes to Paul's Pantry here in town that feed a lot of people that can't normally do it for themselves. And each year, this has been a big project by the Packer wives. And so I would just encourage everybody at that Monday night game, you know, come and have fun. It's going to be a great celebration on Monday night. But when you come, bring food or bring a little donation, and we're really trying to set new records here on what comes in.
All right, come and be generous. It's going to be a great time. See you next week.